Happy Saturday. Welcome back. For those of you who were with us earlier this afternoon for our Dawn of the Dead charity screening, you get to see me again, fresh off of watching the Lakers beat the Knicks. Woo! We're going to jump right into things. This is an earlier show. Figured I'd stop abusing you East Coasters, which, probably get you in at a decent hour, and like I said, myself as well. Welcome to the Saturday night overnight live show. We are going to be talking wrestling. I have a guest that may or may not be coming in. I sent him a link. I got some issues with him. Hope he shows. But obviously, we're still in the wake of what happened last night on SmackDown. This is the most WWE I've talked in quite a while. As you guys know, if you watch the show for any great length, I just think it's a bad product overall. It just doesn't do anything to compel me to watch with that kind of excitement. There are aspects of it, and there are talent there that I think are great. The women's division is probably the best in sports, but for the most part, I've been disappointed with the overall product for quite some time now. And when I say quite some time, I mean like over 20 some odd years. I thought the ruthless aggression era for the most part was trash. I thought the attitude era was trash, bloated trash. And since then, it's just been basically an inconsistent product with some really great talent at the helm, but, just not something I watch. I DVR through most of it, and I stop when I see something I like. Lately, like I said, I've been giving Triple H a chance, watching what he's doing. And like I said, I still watch the pay-per-views, because like I said, I don't have to pay $50, $60. So I've been keeping an eye. And like I said, I have been saying for quite some time now that The Rock needed to be the one to end this bloodline story, even before I knew The Rock was going to be involved. And you can go back and watch all my stuff. You can go back on Twitter. You can go back on Facebook. You can go back anywhere I post about wrestling, which is everywhere. You will see that I wanted this a long time ago. Even when The Rock made that one appearance when he came out, I forgot who he messed around with. He didn't even mention Roman Reigns, and there was no thought of it. And I'm like, if he's available, he needs to be doing this. And now all of a sudden, here we are with something happening that I thought should have happened like a long time ago. And there's a lot of people up in arms about it. So I'll bring in Brad.
Of course, it's my fault. As my
name says. Apparently, it's Triple H's fault, I guess. Apparently, the same Triple H that they trusted and Nick Khan, but they were the greatest thing. 2 months ago, Triple H could do no wrong. He was literally shitting platinum turds out of his ass. And everybody was like, Triple H is cooking, look at what he's doing. And I'm like, by the way, I fucking hate that term. That let someone cook. Who the fuck came up with that? That is the dumbest term on the internet. But anyway, but yeah, everybody was loving Triple H, and then Vince was gone, and Triple H was going to, we were going to turn the corner. And I'm like, okay, sure. His product was still mediocre. But all of a sudden he does something that's good for the overall business and the overall story, and people are like having a fit over it. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll wait. Let's go ahead and hit the chat real quick. Oh, by the way, let me give you a synopsis of this show because, like I said, I don't know when the guest is going to come in because he's on a different time zone. So hopefully he got the make sure he got the link. Okay, he's got the link. I just don't know if he's home yet. We're going to talk about we're going to do a very sorry in advance, a very shitty review of Supergirl World Tomorrow. Not because I don't like it. I love it. What I'm holding in my hand is Tom King's best work, in my opinion. But I got to be careful because there's a lot of plot twists and a lot of twists and turns that involve characters that are throughout the story. Things happen to them throughout the story that I don't want to ruin. And it's going to be really hard because they're throughout. They're not just in this part and then they're in this part. They're throughout the story, and they go through changes. See if I can do this without fucking this up. They go through changes, and there's sequences. So I'm going to give you what I think about this, and we're going to go through some of the panels, and I'm going to do it in a way just fast enough. I'll do them out of order so that, like I said, I don't want to ruin the story. A lot of you guys have not read this. I mean, I can't believe some of the people that I've been conversing through. The Film Junkie hadn't read this yet. And I'm like, I thought even if you hadn't read it before with all the hullabaloo over James Gunn, doing this particular adapting the story, everybody would have been reading. But no, there's still a vast amount of people who have not read this. So I'm going to review this in a way that doesn't fuck it up. So if I seem like I'm going real slow and stopping and starting when I do this, it's because I'm reaching points and I'm reaching characters. I can't even give you a complete character synopsis because some of those characters go through different things throughout the story. It's a brutal story. If you like westerns, you're gonna like this.
Like westerns, you're gonna like it.
Westerns, and to be honest with you, you know how we've been going over like a Kurosawa and his influence on Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is just this geek's opinion. This has an influence. I feel it when I read this. So we'll get to that. Let's and then I'm all fucked up today. Our music story is Master Puppets, Metallica's Ride the Lightning, their third best overall album, in my opinion. So we'll go through that with that that was right in the heart of the transition between stadium metal and hair bands and the kind of overlap, but it's a great album. Not as great as Injustice for All, but it's that's a high bar I'm setting. No Metallica album is better than Injustice for All. So and at the end of the show, so Chappie, if you're out there, I know you're sleeping in there. That is when we're going to open up the line. I'll post the link, and I know I'm basically asking for punishment here. I'm going to turn the show over to you guys, which I will regret, but it'll still be fun. All right, so let's hit the chat, and hopefully our guest pops in here pretty soon. And we'll start at the bottom.
And how's it going, Spider-Man? Of course, he was there with us for the Dawn of the Dead watch party a few hours ago. Let's see who else is in the chat. View with Drew. How's it going?
View with Drew, you're new. Hey, that rhymed. Yeah, a View with Drew, you're new. Welcome to the show, View with Drew.
Yeah, I think it's the first I've seen him as well. Also, how's it going, Chappie? How's it going, Clint? Duck before blaming me. That's good.
Oh, Lord.
How's it going, Ruth? And Ruth, of course, I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yeah, Ruth, I hope you're feeling better. I hope everything is okay. And if you're one of Ruth's victims tied up right now,
yeah,
I know you. Hey, I hope you get out. I hope you escape.
How's it going, Music Man? Wayne doesn't like that. He doesn't like WWE. Jimmy,
listen, go back to that real quick. It's not like it's just been a bad product for a while. It's just like I said, not like if we were going like a bad 2 or 3 year stretch, yeah, it just hasn't been. And like I said, I watch all forms of wrestling, and I grew up on WWF, WWE. It's just when it's not good, it's not good. I mean, now there are certain aspects of it that are really good, but not enough to keep me like, wow, I got to do Monday night. I got to, I speed through it. And if I see something I like, but most of it is, and SmackDown is actually the better show anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm open to liking WWE again. It's a big part of the wrestling community that I try to report on, but it's just not that good. So sorry.
Yeah. Jimmy Badalitsky hasn't. Yeah, I think you're a newbie too.
Jimmy.
Also.
Yeah, he was here he was here this afternoon, and I think I might have seen him overnight.
Okay.
Hi, Jimmy. What's going on?
We're getting a few newcomers, so that's good.
Whoa, hey,
how's it going? Yeah, of course. Yeah, we were always going to get to that because it always comes to that. Whatever it is, it's my fault. But listen, guys, as I said, wrapping up Dawn of the Dead, it's like you might blame me now, but you'll be coming to me later when we get to that zombie apocalypse, and I'm the only one who can get you all out of this.
Yeah. I'm going to. Brad is the guy that on the horror movie that's going to be like the first to die.
Hell,
he's going to have all the weapons and stuff, and then the zombies are just going to swarm him and eat him.
The hell I am. I'm going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Total Recall, surviving that shit.
Well, with your eyes popping out of your head and then returning to normal size and all the brain damage you should have had from being out there. Sure.
Exactly.
That movie was so over the top.
Yeah, that doesn't get the science of like being exposed to the Martian atmosphere.
Yeah, right? I'm sorry. You're not coming back from that, especially as long as they were out there. But hey, it's Hollywood.
Yeah. Let's see. How's it going, Droga? Who else in the chat? Music Man says I need to read that comic. You're talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Please. That's the whole point of this operation tonight is to get you guys to pick that up before the movie. Because with or without the movie, it's a great read. It's an in-depth. It's deep, man. It's you think it's Supergirl, and you don't think of what you're going to get in this. It's really.
Sorry, my dog out here barking.
That your dog barking early too? I heard somebody's dog going at it. Was that you? I thought that was you were.
No, that was fourth during the Dawn of the Dead stream.
Oh, okay. Keep these pooches under control. No,
here's a good one actually from Anthony Manzano. William, are there certain things in that comic that can't be adapted to live action like James Gunn wants for his movie with Millie Alcock?
No, dude. If he wants to, everything. Given his scope that I know so far, like I said, he's probably capable of much more than we've seen. Given just the scope that he's displayed now, this is tailor made for him. This is tailor made for the things he like I said, I always say whatever a director has shown you, there's always more that they can do. And now you're talking about somebody who's not just crafting this story, he's crafting an entire universe that this story fits into. So there may be some things that because of that he may have to curtail, but if he wanted to, there's nothing in here. This actually reads like a good space western movie. For those of you who like Firefly, in my opinion, you have to read it. I think you're gonna love this.
Okay, good. We might get a Firefly, esque movie then, not directed by an asshole in Joss Whedon.
You know what? That would be wonderful. Firefly, I love Firefly. That's the biggest crime in the world. One of the biggest crimes that show didn't get its rollout that it needed, and then it was never given a chance. But I like in the Serenity. Like I said, and it hurt more watching Serenity because Serenity was just a rolled up version of it, a movie version of it, done under Universal. But I would have loved to see the series fleshed out.
I've seen Serenity. I have not seen Firefly, but Serenity is kind of gave us sort of a it
basically gave it to you in a small compacted, but the series does more for the development. If you liked Serenity, you would love Firefly because there's more character development. You get more, Book. He's passed away, by the way, but the guy who plays Book plays a much bigger part. And and then like I said, the only thing I didn't like about the movie is certain things happen that wouldn't have happened if there was an ongoing series. But yeah, if you like Firefly, I think you'll like Woman of Tomorrow.
Okay. Chappie says Leah Thompson. Oh yeah, because Chappie, you were just at MegaCon. Yeah, she was. I got to see her at Tampa Comic-Con back in 2015. So I
hope if you guys mention Howard the Duck, she just ignored you.
No, she. I didn't bring it up, but somebody in the audience did.
You told me about that, yeah.
And she just kind of went like a lot of the focus because that was also the 30-year anniversary of Back to the Future. So a lot of it. That was kind of the focal point of a lot of it, but then eventually drifted over to back to Howard the Duck. She just said, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It is what it is, but life goes on. So,
yeah, that's sad. That's pretty sad. But yeah, next one.
Let's see. Spider-Man has a couple questions at the beginning. All right.
I know numbers has like 20. So.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you want to support
not Spider-Man. Sorry, that was numbers. Yeah.
If you want to support the operation, you can use the tip link that is at the. It should be pinned to the top of the chat room. It helps. It helps buy like little things like brand new mics. It helps for the subscription to StreamYards because we have the ones that has those bells and whistles. Anything you donate, doesn't matter what it is, it all goes like to the Dave Film Junkies quote. It all goes to the mothership to make the show better. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, numbers. I'm actually going to get to when we get into all the wrestling talk. I'm going to bring up your questions then because it's all wrestling related. So that's probably would fit best there. So I'll get back to those, man. Clint says I'm going to be the guy who hides the zombie by the kill. Hell no! I am going to be Immortan Joe, but I'm going to be the Immortan Joe who is like a kind, benevolent leader. I'm going to share the water of everybody. I'm going to be I'm going to treat women way better than he does. It's like I'm going to treat. I know he's
that's not a high bar. I mean, geez.
Well, when I have to say that when I start out with the Immortan Joe because people think, you have to clarify.
You have a bunch of women that you're basically forcing yourselves on to have your kids.
No, they're going. Well, no, it's not going to be like that at all. It's going to operate. It's going to be a much more free and fair society under me in the post-apocalyptic world of Morton Brad. And it's like I said, zombie apocalypse. Like I said, at the end of Dawn of the Dead, when it happens, all of you come with me if you want to live.
Or Brad, die quickly.
Brad, what did you think of the Total Recall? I have not seen the remake's director's. I have seen the remake. I've not seen the director's cut of it, so I couldn't tell you that.
It's missing the over the topness that made it what it was.
Yeah. Well, is it? Is the director's cut of that? Is that rated R? Is that unrated?
I can't remember. I didn't watch the director. I just
Okay,
watched the actual movie when it came out.
yeah, I've seen the
promoted it.
theatrical cut.
It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't. It was lacking the things that made the 1990 movie better.
I don't know. I feel like that would do better if it came out today, because it feels like, because that was like 21 years or so after the original. So I mean, not that there's like any strict like set in stone rule about the gap between, an original and the remake, but I feel like you give that more breathing room from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Paul Verhoeven classic than maybe people.
The thing is, it's just like The Matrix, just like when Fourth came on and failed to defend Matrix. You have to understand that if you released it today, it levels out. It was over the top ahead of its time. You release it today, like I said, it's contemporaries are already going to outshine it. It's just not the new thing. And then the difference between the new Total Recall and the old one is, like I said, the over the topness of the first one is the movie, and it's just not there in that second one.
I mean, the original also, it's it's Paul Verhoeven coming off of RoboCop, so yeah.
It's like if they made Starship Troopers and some other director did it, and they tried to make it like what it, it just I don't think it works.
Starship Troopers, that's one of my favorite ones of his, because I first saw that. That was actually one of the few R-rated movies I didn't actually have to fight quite as hard for.
Why the hell not? If there's a movie your parents should have been.
I know, which is weird. Or it might have been because I was a little bit deep into finally like my R-rated battles, so I guess I'd worn them down maybe a little bit by that point. So I was probably
that movie is fucking violent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it's probably
ripped apart. Cows getting ripped apart.
Yeah,
people's limbs getting ripped apart. The shower scene alone, you would not be able to do that shower scene. That was a Me Too moment that would have never happened.
But, so I forget exactly how old I was when I saw it, but I was definitely like before 14 when I pretty much had free reign. But
parents come in the room right in the shower scene, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. But that's one where it's like there's so much about that you see that even if you see it like 16 or 17. And then you come back to it in adulthood. There is so much about Starship Troopers that you don't pick up on at first, about just how scary the society is that they're living in. I mean, the whole concept about the service equals citizenship for the Federation, and all the rhetoric they use. I mean, Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, the commanding officers. I mean, those guys are wearing Waffen SS uniforms. Those guys are wearing Nazi uniforms.
And the whole thing about it, if you read the book, is actually far worse. Yeah. And you see the aliens in the book, how they're described. There are worse aliens out there. It's just that you see the foot soldiers and then that brain creature and all that. But there's different forms. That there's some that look like they're human. There's ones that they show that look like they they can when they're not in their form, when they close up their arm, they look like, I mean, there's they were way more sinister, but they weren't as sinister as like the people who were supposed to be the good guys. They were far worse. The humans were far worse, and a lot of the stuff it was because they were trying to force these aliens off of their world. They were colonizing, and the aliens were basically fighting back. They figured, okay, they're not going to stop, so we have to stop them. And that's what it was. And it's usually they came to the problems. Even though the aliens could transport themselves to other planets, they didn't start doing it until the humans aggressively started colonizing and wiping them out. Using nuclear weapons to wipe them out, and that's when they evolved and did what they did.
And with all those like military ads, things like that. I mean, it's framed. The movie is framed like basically like a Riefenstahl movie, like a Lenny Riefenstahl. I mean,
it's propaganda. It's a propaganda movie.
It's framed. I mean, it's basically like it tricks you into rooting for. But you're basically rooting for the Nazis in this. It's like you're rooting for. You're watching a Nazi propaganda movie from the perspective of the Nazis.
Well, the whole thing was supposed to do is it was supposed to it was dehumanizing them.
Yeah,
they were not human, so wiping them out in mass meant nothing. They meant nothing. Just killing them in mass meant nothing.
Yeah. That's like that scene of the kids stomping on all the bugs while the mother is clapping them on. It's, I mean, when they refer the way that the humans refer to the arachnid, they call them bugs constantly. The way that they refer to them as that the cadence they give to that. and again, the dehumanizing aspect of it. It's like it hits you so much differently when you realize it's like now, like imagine this basically in place of Jews, because that's
yeah, exactly. Because when you brought up the term vermin, that was a term used. Vermin is basically associated with rats, and when you associate that term with a people, it made it easier for the German population and the Nazis to not see it as a big deal in exterminating them, because you would exterminate vermin. So if you've associated that term with humans and you've done it over and over again, eventually their deaths don't mean anything to you. And that was the parallels that's what one of the comics I need to do is Moss. I need to bring it up. It's going to be controversial. I do, and I probably get all kinds of hate whenever, but it's one of the most important comics. If there's a turning point comic, that Moss is definitely one of those. Yeah. I mean, it literally tells a story, and I remember there was a debate on whether comic book stores should ever carry that because of its nature, and I'm like, it's history, man. It's history, and your comic books, as fantastical as they are, take place in a world that we live in. It all starts with us. That's why no matter what kind of superhuman powers any of your comic characters have, it all starts with the relatability that the reader has with the content. And I see no problem with it, but I know as soon as I review it or I put it on here as one of our stories, just the cover alone is one of the most controversial things. I mean, you literally had that shit sitting on your counters, on your covers, with this swastika and mouth in a concentration prison uniform. That's controversial just before you even open it up. But I think we may have to do it.
Yeah. So that's my little Starship Troopers thing there, because again, it's like you don't realize until you get older just how just how subversive that the framing of that story of that movie is, because it's like it lulls you basically into rooting for the Nazis, into rooting for the.
I'm rooting for the bugs. I was rooting for the bugs.
Yeah, and you pick up on that as you get older. If you see it as a kid and then you take history classes and you realize, now, like you say, then you start reading for the bugs. And by the way, another both comic and movie adapted from it that also pulled that trick off is 300. I mean, that's 300 is a very Starship Troopers-esque kind of a framing of the Spartan culture.
You think so?
Yeah, because what's the best way to put this? Is like because there's aspects of the Spartan culture, of course, that that would be very much like not looked upon fondly today, but it's framed. The story is framed from the perspective of the Spartans, and it's portraying them as very heroic and as a very black and white conflict.
Well, in contrast to the Persians, the Persians were pieces. The Persians were fucking murderers at that era, and Xerxes and all that. I mean, they were killing men, women, and child. Yeah. I mean, there was. I guess it's all subjective. I guess. I mean,
because think about ancient Greece. It's like, because they had slavery. They had they had illicit relations with young children, a part of their educational system. They had things that elements like that. So
in that society, I don't think it comes over in 300 though. It's in the society, it's in that history, but the story that they were telling in 300, I just think that one was more black and white, because it was what the Persians, what Xerxes wanted to do, and what the, it was more of a war movie than anything else. I don't know. I guess it all depends on how you're taking a look at it. I would I don't see it, but.
Yeah. Well, maybe we get. Maybe when we get to the 300 watch party, maybe I can break.
Yeah, maybe we can clarify. Yeah, because it was a rigid society, but not to the point where they. The thing that separates what Nazis were versus anything else is the sheer amount of murder they did, and the systematic murder that they carried out. Because Stalin killed a lot of people. But he the way how he did it and the course of time he did, I mean, he killed 20 million people by either killing them or starving them to death. Yeah. But it was the actual what was behind what the Nazis did. I think it's what separates them from anyone.
What makes that much more sick and more. Yeah, I can see that. So, but yeah, that's all.
Nazis was not on the bingo card today.
Well, that came out of the Total Recall and Starship Troopers comparison. William, do you see an eventual title unification match with Cody and Roman down the line? Since Cody did say he wanted Roman's title and will fight him, not at Mania.
I think so, and I know a lot of people are against unification, but I don't like the brand split. I don't like the brand split, and if you're gonna say that, well, the belt that Seth Rollins holds is second nature, and I'm like, okay, that's bullshit because he defends the belt, whereas Roman really never beat Seth Rollins, and most of the people that Roman beat, he cheated, including Cody when he had Sikoa come in there and ruin that fucking match after everybody got hyped up about that. Here's how I could see it. I could see him going into the Elimination Chamber and or in winning the title at the Elimination Chamber. And with The Rock's help, The Rock comes in there with somebody from the bloodline, and they cost him the title, and that sets up your match for WrestleMania between them without a title. I can see I could see Cody winning that title from Seth Rollins, or not Seth Rollins, Cody winning that title from Roman at Elimination Chamber, and I could still see him using, because he still has the right to challenge for a title at WrestleMania, and I could see him challenging Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, or they could do it to where they do a unification match in SummerSlam. They do Cody. I mean, there's a couple of different ways to do it. I would like to see them unify the title. And like I said last night, it would be cool for him to just go ahead and win both those belts, wrap up WrestleMania with him taking both of them ugly ass belts, tossing them in a Glad trash bag, tossing it to the ref, and then pulling out a bag with the Ringed Eagle, the classic belt that means a lot to that franchise. That would be great, and just do like a different version of it with that new WWE logo on it. But that's what I would think. But yeah, I think that I think that he could take the title at Elimination Chamber, and then face Rollins for the unified title, and then night one is your Rock versus Reigns. And night two is your Cody. I mean, you could flip it up. There's a lot of ways you could do it. And the thing about it is there's still a lot of time to tell a 2 month worth of story. We don't know what's going to happen yet. And a lot of people are already down on the story, which is hilarious. All right, next one.
All right. Get this one here. How's it going, Bradley?
Hi, Brad. Bradley and Austin are going to be at that event with me.
Oh, at the thing that we can't talk about yet?
Yep, the thing. Yes, not yet.
Yeah, which again was like we've alluded to this a couple of times in the last few streams. Again, I know what this is that William is referring to, and again, we cannot give overt details about what this is or who this involves or X, Y, or Z, but suffice it to say that it is definitely something that once it's revealed, we are dead certain you guys are going to be pretty psyched about it.
All right, next one.
Let's see. Here's a good one from Anthony. Are there certain characters in Marvel or DC that you would be okay with them changing their backstory, making them into an anti-hero when they go into live action?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's really no hero out there whose story couldn't be changed into an anti-hero. You could do it with Superman if you wanted to.
They basically did. They basically do with Batman and BVS.
Yeah, I mean, he could, a superhero could be somebody who is, an anti-hero and such that he is not giving up on his old ways, and he has develops a cynical vibe towards society. He's still their savior. He's still going to help them, but he doesn't do it for the reasons that he used to do. You could take any character. You could take Green Lantern and you could take a Green Lantern and say, you know what, I'm gonna bend the rules of Oa and the Guardians to do what I think needs to be done, despite them. He's still a hero. It all depends. Any hero can be turned into an anti-hero depending on the writer and how the story is. So yeah, all of them, to answer your question.
Okay. Anthony kind of has a comment about what I just said about 300. I disagree with you a little bit there because Spartans were pretty barbaric. They basically enslaved and taught their children to kill the slave population.
That is the history, but we're talking about with the story we're talking about. We're talking about 300.
Yeah.
So if you're telling a biopic or action, yeah, no doubt. However, the story that's told in Starship Troopers, as compared to the story that's that is you know told in 300 is much different.
Well, even with 300, even with the version of Spartan Society 300, kind of tells. I mean, it opens with, showing that they're inspecting the infant Leonidas, saying if he's got any birth defects, we're just tossing him, to the wolves. So, and they proudly proclaim that it's like that we have this eugenics program. So
there's a difference between the slavery being the culture of what was going on then, because even in Rome, you could start out as a slave and end up as a citizen. I mean, there was ways, and then the systematic extermination of the people just because of what they are. What Rome did and Greek did, they did more absorbing populations than anything. What the Nazis did was outright extermination. It's a big difference. Now, if you want to tell a complete history of the Spartans, then yeah, you'd have to include that. But that story is not what it's predicated on.
But I mean, really, it's like Starship Troopers. I mean, you could every instance, every time they describe bugs in Starship Troopers. I mean, you could easily it's the word bugs could be so interchangeable with the word Jews in Starship Troopers.
Well, yeah, because you're whatever race they are, you're not even giving them that dignity to call them whatever their species is. You're not giving them the dignity of the fact that
that they're arachnids, they're not insects. Yeah,
yeah, they have a homeland, and you basically are. Your entire culture has been built around wiping them out.
Well, and they have that one moment when Johnny Rico is interviewed, and the reporter says, some people are saying the bugs were provoked because we encroached on their territory. It's like maybe we should just live and let live. And Johnny Rico, I mean, he's coming off of his home city being destroyed and his parents dying, so he's obviously grieving. But he jumps in with again with a perspective that's more encapsulating of the simplistic idea that the human race is projecting onto the arachnid enemy, and they're saying, "Yeah, I'm from Buenos Aires," and I say, "Kill them all." I mean, and that's the mindset they're about. It's very just there.
Well, that's what happens in war too. By the way, war dehumanizes both sides. You go all the way back to World War II, all the way up to Vietnam. You start dehumanizing, in Vietnam, we did a lot of horrible things to even the South Vietnamese that were our allies. We didn't look upon them as people when it came to Japan, because there'd been so many people that have been killed. The hatred was, they are no longer human. They are just this thing I have to kill. Yeah. And that's what happened. That's what happened in this comic. But if you read the books, the arachnids are much more advanced. They're much more. They're not just wild animals in the books, but they're perceived that way because the only thing showed to the populace was them as bugs. They made sure they only showed the drones. They only showed the defense mechanism, and that was what horrified the populace, because there was more than that. And the humans colonized their planet, saw them there, and said, "These are bugs. These are not humans. These are not fit to be on this planet. They're a menace." And they didn't look at them as something that was indigenous living there. They looked at something that needed to be killed, and that spread. And that's the thing about Starship Troopers. That's the message I always got from it. It once you change the name, the nomenclature, or whatever you're targeting, it's really easy to kill it. You can't kill it when it's a human. Your conscience won't let you. But when it's a bug, when it's a rat, when it's vermin, that's the rules change, and that goes throughout history.
Yeah.
So
okay, who else we got in the comments? Clint says 300 is over the top because the story is being told by a Spartan, and he made it so Spartans were the ultra. Yeah, exactly.
Look at Xerxes. Xerxes was like 10 feet tall with like
and he's got got his entire throne is being moved around by like 100 slaves, and he has the 10 of them bow underneath of as he steps off, and it comes
down. Yeah, that was a hyperbolic. Plus the comic itself, it was that way too. But the comic, Frank Miller even said, it's being told from a very fantastical point of view. That that's the way he interpreted the story that was given to him.
Yeah. So another thing too, they also do with the character of FALTs in it, where he's the traitor. He's the Judas figure in it, and then it does a. He is a hunchback, but he's portrayed in a much more exaggerated terms because it makes it that much easier, when you're telling this from the Spartan perspective, to really dehumanize this guy because he portrays his own people.
Yep, and that's the interpretation that's handed down.
Yeah. Okay, who else is in the comments? Let's see. Winged Eagle was always the superior design.
It was. And like I said, that would be so cool if he merged the titles and he just throws those other two ugly ones in the garbage and just comes out with that one. That would be a moment right there.
See, Numbers says, I gotta say though, I don't think Paul Verhoeven movie would translate well today with everything being PC now. I don't know why is everyone else in the chat think.
I know I would go agree. Like I said,
I think so too. Yeah,
that shower scene alone would be like, I don't know if we can pull this one off.
Hollow Man. We need the Hollow Man is once like, man, that would definitely get canceled today. That guy,
yeah, and that has all kinds. Well, like I said, and a lot of it would depend on what how it was marketed and how it was portrayed. I mean, if you can justify some of the things, you can get away with just about anything in a movie if you do a good job of justifying it. Like Schindler's List. Schindler's List is a very graphic movie. There's a lot of killing in that movie. There's a lot of nudity in that movie. There's a lot of abuse in that movie. There's people getting shot point blank. There's people. Ralph Fiennes' character is sitting on his balcony as literally assassinating people with a rifle. There's people being hung. There's people being led to the gas chambers. There's people you see the incinerator. You see all that stuff. That is all graphic. But the way Steven Spielberg justified it is he point by point. He justified every horrible aspect of that movie as needing to be told. So if you were going to tell something that's disturbing, if you can communicate that this is relevant, all the disturbing elements in this story are relevant, I don't think people do that anymore. I think people get scared. They're like, I don't know if I can get this movie made if I put this in there. But the bigger directors, with the bigger names, can do whatever they want, so they get it done. So
yeah. Well, Verhoeven, like what else? Obviously, RoboCop and Total Recall. Those, I think, I think you could probably still get those by relatively. RoboCop, especially because RoboCop, as a lot of people tend to say, and I think it's very spot on. RoboCop is like, if anything, it's 20 times more relevant now than it was at the time. Total Recall, it's more kind of a commentary on like the nature of reality and things like that. So again, they're both over the top. They're both full of all kinds of blood and guts, but they're not. But they weren't pushing the envelope in the same way as something like what some of his other work, like Hollow Man or from Showgirls.
Hollow Man was just fucking creepy.
Hollow Man. Yeah, because I remember when that came out. It's like I was really hyped because I thought it was gonna be like Scream with an invisible guy. And it's like,
it was very close to the Mizzle Man. It's outright, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I got to go grab my food, so I'm going to disappear.
Okay.
And if our guest pops in, just go ahead and bring him in. I'm going to go grab my food from Sister Kim's.
All right.
Sister Kim's.
All right. Keep talking to you guys while we're doing that. But yeah, anyway, Hollow Man, like I was saying, that's one that's like, it's not that it's bad. It creeps me out more now again as an adult because. A lot of it's because you pair, this guy going crazy, and becoming the psycho killer, but also you pair it with the sexual violence of it. It just really it makes it it makes it feel dirtier because of what the kind of monster Kevin Bacon becomes in it, and it's because it's Kevin Bacon. Come on, everybody loves Kevin Bacon. We love him. Tremors. Come on, took out giant sandworms and tremors. He turns into this. Let's see. Starship Trooper still holds well after all. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, like I said, the RoboCop. It's like you can just see in RoboCop so much of the social satire of it that has just come true. It's like everything but like the cyborg robot cops is kind of come to pass that RoboCop did. It's really scary. Let's see. There's one about. Oh, here we go from Fourth. Paul Verhoeven never read the original novel. Yeah, he said it's like he got like 2 chapters into it, and he just he was feeling disheartened, so he just basically started from scratch. So, let's see. I think the best film to visualize World War II. Yeah, well, and that's actually interesting you bring that up because apparently it's it's the #1 movie on Netflix right now. And of course, David Ayer's posted about that. So good on David Ayer with like just this winning streak he's on lately with Beekeeper and Fury. And I mean, obviously we want that to translate to him getting his cut of Suicide Squad released. But I mean, yeah, just loving the success the dude's having. I mean, he's really on a real winning streak here. He's got something another thing cooking now. The title escapes me, but it's with Statham again and Stallone as a screenwriter. So he's having a lot of a success, and he's certainly got a new franchise on his hands now with Beekeeper. So yeah, just hats off to David Ayer. Just I loving it for that guy. And if you haven't seen Beekeeper, definitely see that because it really kicks ass. And Fury, yeah, I need to pull that. I have not seen Fury. I have never seen Fury to be honest. Yeah, I need to pull that up on Netflix because that's one of his most acclaimed movies. So thank you for mentioning that, Numbers. Let's see. Paul Verhoeven coming back with a new movie. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And of course, it's going to be predicated on on a lot of nookie. I mean, the dude legit could be the dude could legit be a porn director. That Basic Instinct, that creeps me out too. Whenever you couple like slasher movie violence with sexuality, that always I just have that always creeps me out more than anything. So. Let's see who else. Music Man says RoboCop Music Day and Hollow Man, and if the PC audience still okay. I think probably, and that probably would be Verhoeven's attitude as well. Ronnie Cox and Michael Ironside played. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they're great in Total Recall. Of course, Michael Ironside would go on to voice Darkseid in Justice League Unlimited, and also on Superman the Animated Series and on JL and JL Unlimited. And William is taking us through Sister Kim's, I see. Okay, so the first time he's taken us like anywhere on the camera, like other than in the parking lot or the tour of the Sci-Fi Center. So that is that right next door to you?
Hold on, I'm see if I can turn my camera on.
Is that right next door to you, or is it how far down the lot?
It's downstairs.
It's downstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going through the chat while you show us.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, no, it's right downstairs. There's the menu.
Okay. Just let me know that this is how William. This is where William goes for dinner on Saturday nights. We're doing streaming. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going through the chat while you're taking us through there, man.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep going through the chat.
I'm gonna be working. It's upstairs.
Okay. U.S. is Detroit these days. Yeah, it's definitely arguable.
Say hi to Kim.
Hi, Kim. Say hi to Kim, chat.
He's the Kim and Sister Kim.
Awesome.
Oh, look at that food. You guys see it? Zoom in.
Yep.
Let's try the ranch wings one day. You see thing?
Yeah, cool. Delta approved. Keith Lee approved.
All right, guys, I'm gonna grab my food and I'll be up.
All right, talk to you in a minute, man. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the chat while we're waiting on William. Brad, don't forget. No, I don't forget Total Recall. What the hell are you talking about? I just mentioned it when we were starting out tonight. Love Total Recall. It's like RoboCop, and Total Recall, and Starship Troopers. Those are I think probably his Paul Verhoeven's best work. Those are his top three. So okay, if you say so. Ruth, come on. Ruth says thoughts. I did like the new Invisible Man from like because that came out like that dodged COVID by like a hair. I mean that came out like weeks before COVID, and because they only spent like $3 million on it, they were able to get pretty awesome profit because they did like 220 something like that. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was great, and I liked how they kind of paired that, they made it like an allegory for like, abusive relationships and gaslighting, and this woman who's trying to escape this guy she used to be with, and he's using this invisibility suit to continue just putting himself in her life against her will. And of course, there's that knife scene in the restaurant. That's just such a great jump scare. Yeah, I really liked the new Invisible Man. Really dug it a lot. Let's see. Anthony asks, Brad, do you think the reason another movie studio streamer general didn't buy up Wile E. Coyote versus Abby for WWE because they felt the movie was going to make any? I think that might be a bit. I think William could probably speak to that better than I could, but I don't know. I mean, that is a good question, but I mean, I couldn't. I don't know if I could say like I'd want to know more about like their internal dynamics or their internal like metrics of like whoever were like the prospective buyers of it, like Amazon or Netflix, and what led them to say, this is going to be, worth it monetarily for us. So I don't know if I could necessarily say offhand if I think that's why. I think, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm gonna bring that up back when William comes back on. He's probably gonna say it shouldn't have been made anyway. But I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a lot of other reasons why you wouldn't want to, other than we just don't think this is going to be a good investment for us. I think that would be just that the only thing I can think of is like you get the offer, you make the offer, you're the potential buyer, and then you look at their at the spreadsheet about what this is going to potentially do for you, and then you have second thoughts and say, oh, this is going to be worth it for us. It's the only thing I could really think of. So yeah, that might actually be a pretty good analysis of it, Anthony. Kevin Bacon plus Elizabeth Shue. Is that a pun on like how it ends with her with the flamethrower on him? Yeah. Let's see. This is Mwambe. I hope I pronounced that right. Mwambe 85 DT. I love RoboCop 1 and 2. Was my favorite villain Hollow Man scene with Kevin Bacon. No, he's a bastard. Kevin Bacon is a bastard in that movie. That guy deserves what he gets by the end. He is a monster. Yeah, the character Sebastian Cain. That guy is a scumbag. RoboCop 2. RoboCop 2, I think, is also very underrated, and it also was very prophetic because Detroit did end up filing for bankruptcy. So yeah, I dig both. Two, Verhoeven didn't direct that. That was Irvin Kershner, of course, of Empire Strikes Back fame. But yeah, I really dug RoboCop 2 as well. And yeah, it's actually a little bit of trivia there with Hollow Man. They got into some trouble with PETA, or American Humane Society, somebody like that, because they thought, the effects, with the thermal readout, they thought they wanted to make sure they didn't actually like slam a dog against the wall like that. So Verhoeven had to show the behind the scenes footage showing Kevin Bacon picking up the dog and handing it to a stagehand, and then he picks up the dummy that he slams against the wall. So yeah, that anybody who does that though, yeah, not and all the other stuff he does in it too. That guy is a monster on every level. Sebastian Cain. Hollow Man is a great. Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, but it does its job maybe a little too well though, because it does like just penetrate into your psyche about like just what what this would, if you had the power to be invisible and like get away with whatever you wanted to. I mean, just what that could bring out in somebody, especially if you really put it in the wrong hands, which they do in this, especially when they make his character. I mean, he's the guy. He's established very early on as being, extremely egotistical and had already on like a bad terms with his ex-girlfriend. So you give somebody with his kind of narcissism that kind of power. I mean, it shows you just how ugly that could get. So yeah, Brad. Sorry, it's clearing my throat there. Would you rather deal with zombie apocalypse that you see in World War II, where the vampires are depicted in 30 Days Nights? Are you talking about what was that zombie movie in World War II from a couple of years? I know the one you're talking about. Just the name escapes me, but the vampires depicted in 30 Days of Night. That's a good question. think I probably take the vampires. I think I probably take the because I mean, yeah, it's 30 days of night, but I mean, eventually we're gonna get some sunlight. That's gonna, it's gonna drive these vampires, away from. So it's like you got some kind of weapon that's going to if you can hold it out long enough, it's like you got some kind of counter attack. So yeah, I think I probably take the vampires in 30 days of night. Let's see. Nobody in Hollywood does squibs and gunshot wounds better than yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and go back and watch that RoboCop Ed 209 scene if you doubt that. Drogue is back. Okay. I thought it was crazy Elseworlds, DC Elseworlds idea. All right. Well, let us know about it, man. I have a lot of DC Elseworlds ideas. One in particular. Kevin Bacon. Yeah, oh yeah, Stir of Echoes. I dig that too, Ruth. I really like Stir of Echoes, where he gets the power to speak to ghosts, and William's back, everybody, and he ends up in communication with this dead girl, and he's kind of digging into the circumstances of her murder. Yeah, Stir of Echoes is really, I dig that too.
What's this? What are you guys talking
about? Oh, talking a little. Went down the rabbit hole, Paul, Kevin Bacon and RoboCop. Now it's gone to Stir of Echoes. Yeah, I like Stir of Echoes a lot. That was a good horror movie.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh, sorry, clear me. Oh,
that, bro.
Well, so now it's not just in ZSGL. We get the closest of a sesame seed.
Look how thick this is. A turkey burger.
Wow.
Eating healthy. Look how thick that is.
That's like a deck. That's
my head.
That's as tall as like a deck of cards, man.
Oh, look at the cheese, the caramel cheese on there. Oh my goodness.
Caramel cheese? There's caramel cheese?
Caramelized cheese or whatever they call it. Yeah. Not caramel, but it's a process that they use to make it.
I see.
Oh no, that
mixing caramel with cheese. That sounds really gross.
That's worse than pineapple on pizza.
No, I can handle pineapple on pizza just fine.
You can what?
I can handle pineapple pizza just fine. And as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted.
Nothing.
Okay, Brad. Version of the movie which version did you like better? The one with Adrian Brody, or the one recently that Elizabeth Moss? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking, Anthony. Are you talking?
Oh, you're.
Wait,
Elizabeth Moss did Invisible. Adrian
Brody in the new one, but I mean, which one are you talking about with Adrian Brody? Because I don't think I've seen that. But yeah, the new one, because Ruth asked me about that too. Yeah, that the new one is really good. I did like the new one a lot. Yeah. Where it's like yeah, it is, and yeah, like I said, they dodged COVID by like a centimeter. I mean, it came out like 2-3 weeks before the lockdown started.
So did or Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that didn't do as well. Actually, I think it made close to about the same amount of money, but it just a bigger budget. So
one was on a $7 million budget. The other one was on way too much.
On like a 90, 100 million, something like that. Which that's cheap by CBM standards, but yeah.
There you go, Music Man. Music Man is 100% correct. We talked some wrestling. I sent the link to Chris because I was watching you guys earlier this afternoon. And I was just typing in. He said I was trolling wrestling fans. I'm like, I don't troll. I am a wrestling fan. I don't. Enough people troll us. I'm just saying that this was the best outcome. And he compared it to the Snyder movement. And now I'm only happy because I got what I want. And I'm like, no, that's not true because there's differences. And I wanted to. I was hoping he would kind of come on. And
is that what you want to bring him on? Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. Because
I'm not fully like what's the yeah, you can fill me in on that because I didn't see this.
Well, there was a lot of people. They were talking about it today. How a lot of people were are not unhappy with the decision. They're complaining and this and that and. He said, "Oh well, I was trolling people who weren't happy with it." I'm like, no, I'm just saying that this is something that needed to happen. It's a long time ago, and I've been saying that this needed to be happening. The difference between you know, they were saying, well, people were invested into this just like they were invested in Snyder stuff. Huge difference. First of all, there is zero comparison to what WWE just did.
Yeah, come on. What the hell are you doing?
There's zero.
That's not even apples and oranges. That's like apples and fire trucks.
But here's why, and I'll explain in detail why. When it came to the Snyder situation, you had a different group of people muscle their way in, force out the original storyteller, and hijack the story and go forth with that one. So that time that you invested in then was hijacked by people that had nothing, that really didn't have much in the story.
And by the way, that also led to, I mean, it happened during the original storyteller during basically the worst period of his life, with the family tragedy, and it led to extremely, as we has been revealed, a very, very, very bad on-set behind the scenes situation with the reshoots.
But you had people that you had a group of people that had story. Those people got replaced, and then these other people. Triple H has been the one handling, the guy who gave you everything that people have been saying has been great, gave you this exact thing. He's the storyteller. He's been the storyteller since before all this went down. The same guy who greenlit that shitty finish at WrestleMania 39 was the same guy who greenlit this. So if you trusted Triple H at that point, what is he now, stupid? Did Triple H, the guy that everybody in WWE loves and says is a savior, is he now suddenly stupid because he's making some moves that you may not be able to see the whole breadth of yet?
Plus, I'll also add that with the WWE situation, it's like they're not trying to pass it off as this was the intention all along. This is the version of the story that was always planned, and there was no. I mean, I don't know how you do like do that quite the same with like a live event like pro wrestling, but there's not been an attempt. I mean, unless I'm missing something, there's not been an attempt to pass this off as this was what the original creator intended all along. And
well, even if it wasn't, it's the fact that the difference being is that it's all been Triple H and not Tony Khan, but Nick Khan. It's been them running the show for quite a while now. Vince came back and had some sporadic things, and you can't compare that to. And when I bring it up, I'm bringing it up because this was the right answer. I'm not trolling anybody. This was the right answer. Cody should have never, in my opinion, been in going against Reigns at WrestleMania. Now, if you want to, and like you said, a lot of people don't realize that the story is still being told by the same people who started the story. The Snyder issue, the story was not being told by the guy who started the story. So right then, any comparisons are gone. But so that situation is different. But trust me, there's no way I'm trolling wrestling fans. I've been watching for 40 years. I probably forgot and stepped on more than most of the people who I discuss it with will know. And that's not talking down to anybody, but they're watching their era. I watched their era, my era, the eras before. It's just, I've been watching a long, long time. And I'm not going to troll wrestling fans because we already get trolled by the people who consider us a bunch of fucking weirdos to begin with. But at the same time, the people who are upset about it, that's hypocrisy, simply because, like I said, all of a sudden, the guys that, you were cheering this entire last 2 years just basically are become stupid. You don't trust them now? You trusted them this whole time? Oh, trust Triple H. Let Triple H cook. Dumbest fucking term on the internet, by the way, to let somebody cook. Stop using that. Stop it. But anyway, no issues with Triple H once he took over for Vince. Everything was going in the right direction, but all of a sudden, the same guy who gave you all that is giving you this, and suddenly he's And then, be honest with you, it's not every fan, that's against him, because I know, RJ, you were there, but I could clearly hear them chanting Rocky for a very loud.
Well, he said that too. It's like he said that the audience. We RJ was on last night. He said the audience just went ballistic when The Rock showed up.
Yeah, and the global audience. See, there's the internet wrestling fans, which are significant, and then there's the general audience that they want to bring in. And general audience is not every wrestling fan is a geek like me that hangs out on the internet.
I guess, by the way, I guess we're fully into the wrestling topic now, so I'll go ahead and bring up your initial questions numbers.
Yeah, I wanted to bring Chris on because he's a wrestling fan. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, but here's what numbers ask, because like I said, I numbers I just wanted to. You had like 5 you started out with here, so I wanted to go ahead and wait till we got to the topic fully in depth on that before I brought them up. So here we go. William, what would be the chances of Cody Rhodes biding his time to announce his opponent for WrestleMania for the simple reason of Randy Orton taking the belt from Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber?
That could happen. I think they already have what they want to do planned out. Plus, there's another caveat to it. That knucklehead L Money in the Bank fool still running around with that briefcase. He could really fuck all of this up. So there's still a story to tell. That could happen. They could have, I don't know if ending the story is Cody winning the title at WrestleMania or Cody in a WrestleMania main event as the champion. I don't know how because like I said, I never figured that everybody's just in their head connected the story to Roman Reigns. Oh, he pointed at Roman Reigns. I'm like, even before CM Punk got injured, The Rock came out there and made that speech, and they don't do that. If you've been watching WWE long enough, Triple H in his tenure has not introduced things that he does not intend to use. So when he came out the weeks before the injury, so that's why people say, "Oh, is this just a reaction?" And okay, then he had The Rock come out there, and I remember tweeting about it. I was like, "Dude, The Rock needs to come out later on this evening when Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns is in the building. I need to see them both in the ring." I said that almost a month and a half ago. So when he came out and said that second time around, with that whole, maybe I'll sit at the head of the table. That match was set right then, in my opinion. They were going to do something at WrestleMania once that was set. You do not bring him out there. And I always said, there's no way you are in better position if you just take the brunt of people. Oh, I'm going to sell my WrestleMania. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm not going to watch. Yes, you're going to watch. The event's already sold out. You're not going to not show? I dare you. You know what? And who are you going to sell your tickets to for that value? Go ahead. Somebody is going to buy your ticket. Somebody will be there in your place. You're going to miss out on your WrestleMania moment. But when you don't even know how this is going to unfold, we could come around Monday night and then be talking about an entirely different situation, you know?
By the way, he had a follow. This is like the second half of it, and then it'll be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes night 1 and Roman Reigns versus The Rock night 2.
I mean, he could do it now if Roman they could have Randy win the belt, for him to have a legacy match. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they could do a triple threat. I don't think they're going to do a triple threat. They could also have The Rock win the title, and face Cody at SummerSlam, and that's the deal. I mean, there's all kinds. We don't know the whole story. Like I said, the way they left it Friday night, there's a lot left up for interpretation. All we know, based on what he says, is that he was not going for the title at WrestleMania, but he could go for the title anywhere now in between then, and The Rock could cost him the title. If The Rock costs Roman Reigns the title, you already have a match set up because of the bloodline. But like I said, they were willing to give Triple H all this rope when they were telling some goofy storylines, and everything was going great, but he can't finish the story. I'm like, and Cody, like, oh, poor Cody. I'm like, come on, are you serious? I mean, he looked so disappointed. I'm like, he didn't. I guess now we're reading his mind. But like I said, and you got me talking about WWE, and like I said, I don't think the product overall is that good, but it gets guys like me back in, and they want the general audience. Peacock wants the general audience. WWE wants the general audience. They know they have the wrestling geeks. Then when I say we're full of hot air, and they know we're full. Triple H knew exactly what he could get away with. You have people talking about wrestling that don't even know what wrestling is, talking about this shit. That's the kind of global appeal. That's how WWE gets to where they are. That's how The Rock gets to where he is. There's a lot of people that are going to be tuning in that have come upon The Rock that are not that saw him in Hobbs and Shaw, that saw him in Black Adam, saw him everywhere else but a wrestling ring. Now you're bringing all them into the fold. So like I said, it would be different if I was just reacting to something I had just seen, but I've been saying that this needed to happen for quite a while. And everybody's telling me, oh, it'll never happen. They have to finish. No, they don't. They don't. Hey, listen, it's not my fault. It's not Cody's fault. It's not anybody's fault that they blew that finish at WrestleMania. If they would have booked that shit right in WrestleMania 39, this doesn't happen. You could still have a Rock, because Rock and Roman don't need a title belt. You could take all the belts off of them. It's about the bloodline and about the Rock's place in that thing. And like I said, if they would have booked the right, what should have happened is Cody should have pinned Roman last year, but they want this streak, and he's been champion so long, and now he's passing Bruno. He's going to approach Hulk Hogan. So fucking what? Hulk Hogan is not the greatest human being in the world. Obviously, if you just Google him, you Google him. But I saw Hulk Hogan defending the title on a regular basis, and I saw him on TV. I mean, they're putting more value in the length of Roman Reigns' title run than they are in the actual quality of the matches and what he faces. And that's what makes the Seth belt. I mean, I see Seth every Monday. I see Seth defending his title when he's healthy. So I don't know. Like I said, I think that the right thing is happening now. I don't care why it happened, but this is what needs to happen, in my opinion. But go ahead, next one, because I know he's got about 10 more. But if that does not turn out to be the case, who will face Seth freaking Rollins? There's another possibility, and that's the person who entered the ring the day that Seth came out and said he was injured, and that's Gunther. You could have it to where Gunther either takes that title to WrestleMania and faces him, or Gunther has to surrender the title, never being pinned, in order to get that title run. I think Gunther is finally ready for that type of title run. They've built him up, and there's nothing more he can do for the Intercontinental title, and there's nothing more that the Intercontinental title can do for him. So I could see Gunther going out, and that would be a really good match. All right, next one. Yes, I do. Yeah, Jimmy and Jesus are dead. They're building that up. No, I don't. If they're not in ring talent, I don't want to see them in the ring. Enough of that. No. Bad enough. I was in an era where I saw Vince, wrestling and holding the title and beating and pinning real talent. I don't want to see that. Nope. All right, next one. Even though Nick Aldis is an actual wrestler. Did I freeze or did you freeze? You there, Brad?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my mic turned off. So while you were going there, so I just had to bear with me, guys. I'm getting back to because I had to go all the way back to the top to get the numbers questions there. So now I'm going back to where we were up to that point. Let's see. Yes, me, Brad. Do you have a YouTube channel of your knowledge of old action moves and thrill moves? I do not. Yeah, my YouTube life is basically here. So, and I'd say I've only really started the whole YouTube streaming thing within since January of last year. So I'm still really kind of, in a lot of ways, I still kind of consider myself a bit of a rookie at it, because I've, of course, been on here pretty regularly for the last 6 months. I also tend to drop in with the Four Nerds pretty often. And what else have I done? I've been on, I guess, on Mr. Darren Kirsch. So Darren, for watching on his podcast Round 2, talking about just sequels. I did that for his review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And what else have I done YouTube wise? I've been on Film Junkie's patron stream a number of times. So yeah, I'm again, I only really began that my whole side of my life as a budding YouTuber basically a year ago, and I, funnily enough, right when I'm getting over COVID, when William first contacted me the first time he brought me on. So I do not currently have a YouTube channel. I do write for as far as like what you're talking about there. I really my start with my whole journalistic career, which I'm still continuing. One outlet I write for is called Kung Fu Kingdom, where I write a lot about martial arts, both in real life and cinematically. So you guys, you kind of see a lot of my long form work on a lot of that there. But yeah, I do not presently have a YouTube channel. I mean, maybe I don't know. You think I should launch my own here? Because I'm kind of, I don't know. I think I'm enjoying it on the Sci-Fi Center, but I mean, I'm not trying to like jump ship at all. But
No, I mean,
but yeah, it's like if you guys want me to, I might give that some thought at some point. But I mean, obviously, I love sharing my my thoughts on 80s, 90s action, martial arts, all that with you guys here. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with all that right now. So yeah, but who knows what the future holds. Oh yeah, this actually is a question I have. Why is pineapple pizza such a big deal?
because it's disgusting.
Okay. Okay. That's it. Okay, who else we got? Chat. RJ asks, "Are you surprised by how bad the backlash is? We want Cody's been training all day in raw videos." Yeah, no, I'm kind of surprised by it's like, because the sentiment actually seems to be tilting fairly negative.
Not really, because when I was first talking about this months ago, and I said this is what needs to be happening, even if, and I will quote myself, it's going to piss a lot of people off initially, but no, it doesn't surprise me at all. But here's the thing, though: we have 2 months. We have 2 months until we're just over 2 months, 64 days. It's 64 days away. I think once The Rock starts cutting promos, then that once you actually start, it comes from being a decision to actually promoted reality starting this Thursday here in Vegas. I think that once the story is laid out, I think that's going to subside. And once the actual plan on what they're doing, because we still don't know how this is going to work out. Cody is going to be at WrestleMania wrestling for a belt. He's going to leave WrestleMania with a belt. Yeah, whether he comes in there with one way, but he's leaving there with a belt. You also have a situation to where, Damien Priestley could end up in the main event simply because he may beat whoever comes out. You never know. And that's an X factor. So you have all this in the X factor. And what strikes me crazy about WWE fans is that you were willing to give these same people the benefit of the doubt when, they gave you even less information about things that were going to happen. You just trusted them. But now all of a sudden you don't trust them. You think Triple H is in the corner, with some etch and sketch, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. I mean, he's gotten increasingly better as a booker, and he did what I thought needed to be done. There should have never been a finish the story thing with, they allowed that. That was their mistake, is they allowed that to foster and become the narrative, even though Cody's on Raw, been on Raw. And the only, Roman Reigns is on a completely different show where he shows up at part-time. So I didn't see any heat for that match to begin with. If people put that in their head, I think they should have quashed that earlier. Because if The Rock, what did I say before any of this went down? If The Rock is available, The Rock needed to be in that main event. The dummy, the non-wrestling executive, told you that there's no way that if The Rock is available, he would not be there. You are literally opening up a suitcase of money and just leaving it on the intersection for people to just take it from you. That's how stupid that would have been. Now, as far as people, we want Cody, you know what? I see no reason why if you have if this is what you want to do, then you craft that. You use that heat. Because trust me, there was a lot. Go back and play when The Rock jumped into the ring last night. I heard Rocky. Now any given audience might have a different opinion on it, because what? They're going to use that. They're going to use, WWE is going to do what they always do. They're going to use your tears and your angst as fuel for their story, and they're going to manipulate you into loving it. Trust me, as I sit here today, if this stays the same, as we get to these matches, they're going to have these people eating out of their hand. Because like I said, you're going to sell your WrestleMania tickets. You're going to make a lot of money because somebody's wanting those tickets. And not everybody wanted Cody versus Roman. I didn't want Cody Rhodes versus Roman. I know a lot of people didn't want that. So the backlash, in the backlash, for the most part, has been concentrated amongst, certain areas. And trust me, Nick Khan and Triple H knew exactly what was going to happen, and they're going to feed on that. They're going to feed on that for the next 2.5 months or 2 months. They see what's trending, and guess what? They're not looking if it's trending. Oh, you dislike my video? You think Triple H right now in his penthouse is like, oh no, they don't like my video. I wonder if they're going to show. Oh, WrestleMania is sold out. Oops. I wonder if they're going to watch. They're not going to watch now. Yeah, you can say that shit in the public, but I'm going to say right now, I think you're full of shit. You're lying. You're drawn. Wrestling fans, it takes a lot for wrestling fans to let go of these things one way or another. And to be honest with you, even though I don't think the product is all that great, the people who follow this product, you want to talk about an investment of time? There's no way that the people who watch these things are going to invest that kind of time and not watch WrestleMania. Come on now. You can stomp your feet and be angry, but I caution you to do this. Even though you may not have been watching as long as I have been, you've been watching long enough to know maybe you should just let this roll out and see what happens. We got 2 months. We don't know how this is going to wrap up. Don't go ripping up your WrestleMania tickets. Don't go trying to make plans for WrestleMania Sunday because you're going to be there. You're going to be there. You know how many times I said I ain't going to watch some shit and I'm sitting there watching the shit? Very recently is until I actually started blue beetling things. But when it comes to wrestling, I say every year. I said last year, after that shitty ending, that ending pissed me off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even watching it. I'm not watching. I'm going to be there. And so are you. So, and like I said, there might be a lot. This could probably end up really good for Cody. And I saw hashtag justice for Cody. I'm like, come on now. What are we doing? The guy's being paid millions. He's in the best spot of his life. He's about to enter WrestleMania with the whole world watching. And on the stage, he'll be fine. Second WrestleMania main event in a row, he'll be fine. All right, next one.
All right, so we're right here. How's it going, Aaron?
Right. Hi, Ozzy.
Dort Knight says pineapple pizza is amazing, especially with bacon jalapenos.
All right, so can I time him out? Outright animal. And he added, dude.
Brad, do you remember those old erotic thriller movies that used to come on Cinemax, Showtime, and movie? I remember that being a thing, but I mean, it wasn't something I was tuning in with a lot of regularity.
Soft porn, yeah, I watched it.
It wasn't my thing, but you know, did William just say, "Is he stupid?" Arkham read him.
What did he?
I think it was on your rant there, you on a minute ago, unless I missed something. Sorry, RJ, but Roma versus The Rock is the better story with the bloodline, the Samoan family dynasty. Come on, man, get over it. I mean, his words, not mine.
And he doesn't. I mean, I would say get over it. I would say it differently. Let's see what happens with it. We got a long time, and you have a long time for the case to be made for the decision that they made, and you have a long time for Cody to come out on top of all this. I mean, he could walk out with both belts, or he could walk out, in a better situation. And like I said, I think Seth Rollins has started building that belt to the point where that's the workhorse belt. But yeah, Cody did say that's the one he wanted. But once again, they don't put stuff out there they don't use. So let's put it all together. He's not gonna chase it at WrestleMania. That doesn't mean he's not gonna get it somewhere else. And I could see him saying that, you know what? Finishing my story isn't just about being a champion. Finishing my story is about being the champion. So I'm taking my shot at WrestleMania unification, because I hate the brand split. I know that a lot of people love the brand split. I hate the brand split. The brand split actually creates two different levels, and then it's going to be even harder now because you clearly designated Raw as it's always been, but now with that $5 billion payday and the significantly smaller one that USA is giving SmackDown, it's just I don't know. I don't like. And to be honest with you, if I'm Netflix or I'm USA Network and I paid all this money, fuck the brand split. Get rid of that shit, because that means that there are going to be people that are going to be on Netflix that I don't have available after these 2 different channel splits on this channel, and there's going to be people that are not available on the Netflix after I just dropped $5 billion. No, I want them all over the place. I don't want a brand. I want the WWE brand. I want whoever the champion to be able to show up on my show after I've gutted myself of all this money. So that's to me, that's justification. But I'm thinking he's going to get it in Perth as well. I'm thinking that, but once again, when is the Elimination Chamber? When is that? That's a couple of weeks. So who knows? Like I said, but what they've done is they got people talking about it, and they got these shows in between now for the first time in a long time. The road to WrestleMania is not worthless. It's not as predictable because you don't know what the hell is going to happen. So kudos to them on that one. Yeah.
Sorry, I turned my mic off there. I keep Williams talking, but I'll go ahead and read it. I found it disgusting. The amount of hate The Rock is getting and the amount of dislikes some of the WWE videos are getting. Yeah, it's. I mean, even as speaking as somebody who's not the PhD, that William is on pro wrestling. It's hard. You can't miss it if you go on social media now.
And like I said, these same people. Just like I said, now Triple H is dumb now. Overnight, he's stupid. You don't think there's a plan in place for this one, and you're not willing to let this roll, let this, run its course. I mean, damn, that was quick. It took me 25 years to really give up on the a WWE product. These lifers are diehard, WWE fans are like that. Damn it, fuck, I'm like, wow, all the stories that you've grown up with as a wrestling fan, all the long and short term stories. We're not willing to see how this. What I mean, you don't know how Cody's going to end up. Justice for Cody. Cody could be walking out with all the belts, all the money, and the last thing you see on WrestleMania. I would say putting The Rock in this situation was the best move. Not just because he's a super global superstar, but the story that you've been building with Roman Reigns that Cody's doesn't make any sense. Cody is not part of that family. He's not part of that bloodline. The Rock is. The Rock is the bloodline.
By the way,
everybody else is just a junior partner.
To your and Aaron's point, I like right now, We Want Cody is trending about 115,000 strong on Twitter. So,
and Triple H is sitting back in his leather chair, clapping and counting, because that kind of friction is good exposure. Because it gets the average man in on it now. It was on ESPN. It's on all these things. The average Joe now is talking about this. And they can't sell any more tickets for WrestleMania. It's sold out. And trust me, I'm not going to WrestleMania. Okay, just go ahead and put your tickets on stuff, whatever it is, and watch how long it takes for them to go. Before you refresh your screen, those tickets are going to be gone. So then you're not going to be able to go. What they want is Peacock. Peacock wants this on because those PLEs are going to be on Peacock. And Peacock can sell much more ad revenue with this than anything else. Plus, the story makes sense. This family, half of this damn family is in the WWE. This family has a history. By the
way, William, I do need to interject, but there is somebody we might need to time out here because he is getting a little bit he's dropping some slurs in here and getting a little dropping some questionable comments. So this individual, I won't call you out by name, but that's not what we do here. So please refrain from that, and we are very likely to be timing you out very shortly here.
Message me and see who it is.
Okay.
Guys, I'm really not I'm very, very flexible, but
okay, just message you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what the hell are you doing, man? Don't hijack our comment section with this crap, man.
I don't see him. Hold on, guys, while we do some house cleaning. Is he still visible, or did you?
No.
Did you already time him out?
No, I haven't. I don't know how to time him out, to be honest. So.
Hold on, I don't see him. So.
No, he's typing out slurs in 1-letter comments here. And
seems like you guys know who he is. Now this guy's just bootlicking WWE. Oh yeah, I got to get ready on that one, dude.
Yeah, this is like you're crossing the line here, dude.
Yeah, if you have an opinion, that would have been one thing, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay, you see who I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Listen, guys, we can have a difference of opinion, but you can't come in with saying that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just outright offensive.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let me get to ours. All the wrestling YouTubers, wrestling podcasters, and websites, all the hate that angry is. I'm reading Fightful. I watched Fightful today. Internally, many people are wary of this, but once again, you know, it made all the sense to do this before. I mean, and I don't think they're going to budge because they don't. Why would they? They have nothing to lose by letting this. You're not going to unsell out WrestleMania. You're probably going to have more people watching this. I guarantee you're going to have more people watching this than a lot of other pay-per-views that they've done. So hold on for a second. Let me make sure that person is completely out. That's the first time I've had to do that.
Yeah, the time to be out.
Yeah,
and we joke about it when I make comments that about or we say something if I say something facetious about praising Howard the Duck. I got a time right out, but no, this seriously, dude, this isn't okay what you're doing in our comments.
Yeah, well, especially that slur you just used. I mean,
yeah, that is what the hell, man. That's not permissible here.
I mean, it shouldn't be anywhere, but
yeah. That is not what we do on this channel at all. While William's doing that, let me highlight a couple other more cheerful comments here. Question: which is worse, Thor: Love and Thunder or Batman and Robin? That's a good question, actually. I think William, you said you would still consider Batman and Robin worse just because of the damage it did to CBMs and to Batman specifically for 8 years.
No, it just was what was the question? Are you
Thor: Love and Thunder or Batman and Robin, which is the worst?
Actually, Batman and Robin, because it just wasn't a very good movie.
Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. It's like it's bad, but it's but it's like it didn't tank you didn't have that combo movies fall into obscurity for a long time after, or if not for X-Men and Spider-Man and coming along. So I think Batman and Robin had the worst impact of it. So I put it, but neither one of them are good at all. And listen, if you like Thor: Love and Thunder, Godspeed. I mean, that because I know that is one people you're going to get pushed back on for liking. So,
Mwamba, I got that video. I'm just looking through. Yeah, that's very disturbing. Sorry about that. I was distracted by just making sure that the talent sent out of that thing. So, yeah, don't come in here screwing. If you got a comment, like I said, we've been lucky enough not to have that situation. So hopefully that's last.
So you're that's if you're gonna come at us with that kind of shit, man, just don't come back.
Yeah, it's
as simple as that. Let's see. Fourth says, you want to see me in a competition? You want to see me in pro wrestling, or you want to see me in a martial arts tournament?
Fight Aaron. That's what I want to
see. I've actually had some thoughts in the last year and a half. It's should I maybe get into some MMA competitions? I'd love to, but I think I can do pretty well. Not to toot my own horn.
Oh, jeez.
Aaron definitely would too. Aaron's awesome. Aaron kicks people's asses in MMA. Brag. I do have an Instagram. I just man, I just don't use it like I should, like other people do, because I don't take that many pictures in my life. Really, is the long and the short of it. I'm just not that. I don't. But yeah, people keep telling me it's like, Brad, you should use it, and I keep meaning to. I just never get around to it. But one of these days, I'm gonna get to it, like using my Instagram more actively. Especially because every time I get an email saying it's like, oh, somebody else that I know is following me on Instagram now. So I need to start using that a lot more. I really do. That's what I gotta do. Oh, also Root says, we have to stay together. William Brad, just like Batman and Robin. You two together are awesome.
But I totally support you if you want to go do your own thing too. I mean, I would watch it. I would subscribe to it.
Yeah, well, again, it's like I'm
as you get more comfortable with the YouTube world,
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, it's just that I still consider myself, fairly new to the YouTube. It's like it's only been within like the last, I don't know, 5 months or so, because I'm even like catching up technologically with how to do all this. Because the headset I'm speaking through right now, it's like that came courtesy of Rhea, who sent it to me, just to improve my audio and all that. So it's like that's another consideration too. It's like I would want to just beef up everything to the technical standard that a lot of the YouTubers that I follow. So, but yeah,
well, look at me. Look, right, as I said, when I showed those pictures of how it started, how it's going, and I'm literally in the dark using the laptop microphone, the laptop camera. I looked at my early days and I'm like, oh my God. But then, now you look at it, my background is nice here. I got a good nice Amazon Basics microphone. I have lighting now. Even when I'm at the house, just, the simple changes that I've made at the house and the ones I'm going to make in a couple of days, I've come a long way. Cause like I said, my earlier shows look like shit. It's hard to look at, but you got to in order to improve. So,
yeah. So, yeah. Yeah,
all right.
That's something I might.
Let's jump into.
I was about to suggest, because we really went down the rabbit hole in our pro wrestling. So we got a couple other topics you want to talk about.
Yeah, and then I had to do it with Bob. I hope he doesn't change his name and come back.
Yeah, Okay, I guess we're calling him out by name, but yeah, whatever you decide to bring, whatever garbage you decide to bring in the chat tonight, Bomb. It's like we're not. It's like, keep that out of here.
Yeah, we are not homophobes here at the center, buddy. All right, so hey, here comes my really, admittedly bad, not a lot of detail review of Supergirl Worlds of Tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on DC Infinite here so you guys can see. Do me a favor, don't read the
don't read the plot synopsis.
Yeah, don't read the plot stuff. Don't ruin it for yourself until you're ready to go see it.
How many issues was all told?
It's 8 issues.
Okay. Because I have never read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, so it's new for me too.
Yeah, and it's
I read a lot of Tom King. He was a phenomenal writer, but not this specifically.
Yeah, and this is like I said, this is his best stuff. Here you go. Having the sniffles there, Bradley?
Oh yeah. But that's too bad, but just
trying to get into the issues. Hold on. Oh, you know why? It might not let me do this. Come on. There we go. Life. Here we go.
No, guys, I swear, I'm just clearing my throat a bit there, but of course, this is another instance where my breathing goes, Darth Vader, we're not standing on ceremony here. I don't have a cold.
How's my screen?
I don't have a sore throat. But sometimes I'd like to screw around with the chat by putting on my best beta buffer.
All right, so here we go. So this is issue 1, and I'm just going to really flip through it so you guys can see the artwork on it, and then I'll give you the premise of it. So the premise is basically, I'm going to read you the quick premise, and then I'm going to read it slowly so I don't give up anything. All right, Cora Zor-El travels to a distant Red Sun world, accompanied by Crypto to celebrate her 21st birthday by going to a bar and getting drunk. And she, by the way, is hilarious because she does that so that her powers don't stop her from getting drunk. Near her booth, a little girl named Ruthie is trying to hire a mercenary to kill her father's murderer.
I'm sorry. Who was that again?
Ruthie. I know I'm probably, yeah, it's hilarious. However, a royal mercenary agent named Krem. However, the mercenary simply steals Ruthie's very expensive sword, and that's where the sword comes from, and heads towards the exit. Despite her inebriated and weakened state, Kara beats the man up and gives Ruthie back her sword. Ruthie begins following Kara around, and this is what the story like. Ruthie's a very important because it's she's trying to do everything she can to get Supergirl to kill the people who harmed her father. Thinking to hire her as an assassin, but Kara does not want to get involved in an act of revenge. Nevertheless, they are ambushed by Krem. Krem gets Kara and Crypto shot, but he flees. He flees when he realizes he's completely outclassed by Kara. Yeah, he opens up on her or on him. You know, as running, he accidentally bolts into Kara's starship, which had been pre-programmed to take off. As her ship flies into space, Kara takes Ruthie and Crypto to a doctor before passing out. When she comes to around, she learns that Crypto has been poisoned by Krem's arrows. And that's the beginning of the thing, and they have to find a sample of the poison. That's a big part of the story. Comet, the Super Horse, is in there. I'm not even going to go nearly into what that's about because that's a big thing towards the end. This story, that's the premise. So what you need to know without ruining for you is that Supergirl, just wants to get away, get as far away from Earth as possible, get drunk and forget about her problems, just like a lot of normal people. This story is almost like if you look at it like just the scenes where the old grizzled cowboy is sitting at the bar and some damsel comes to him and says, "I need you to get the guy, the guy who's killed my cows and stole my ranch and killed my husband," type of situation, which is like every spaghetti western, every western ever told. No matter how good or bad they are, that's pretty much the premise. If you follow Seven Samurai, which we watched, what was the thing? Somebody was looking for somebody to kill somebody. That's the way a lot of these things start. The difference from Seven Samurai, because there's just not that amount of people. It's basically the two primary characters and some other supporting characters, but they're not all involved in the fight. So I'll leave that there. This book is very alien. It's non-Earth. It takes place entirely in space, entirely on different worlds, entirely in different planets, and so the Superman mythos that how they relate, on Earth and, being Kryptonian don't have a lot to do here. There's a lot of this book that takes place when she's not near the type of sun that would give a Kryptonian their powers. So she has to use other means. This book is also brutal. It's very violent. And the violence is the way the artwork in here. The artwork in here, I don't I'm thinking more Mobius a little bit, but not as rigid as his work was. Let me see. So let's go with the grid view. Here. All right. So is the grid view showing up for me? Because I can't switch over. Yeah.
Yeah, showing up there. It's showing there.
Cool. All right. So, my turkey burger smells so good. All right. So I'm just going to go through some of the. This is issue 1. I'm only going to show you issue 1 because, like I said, you'll be able to start putting together. That's her. She's drunk in the bar. You'll be able to start putting things together. And I really want people to read this. Especially knowing how so many people have not read this. I'm shocked. I'm shocked because it's Tom King's best work. There's Ruthie, and then she's throwing up in a bucket. Like I said, you're seeing a drunk Kryptonian right off the bat, which I thought was very, very cool. She's very relatable to a woman of that age, on her 21st birthday. I know a lot of people that on their 21st birthday got hammered and just wanted to get away from things. Come on. All right. So...
Spider-Man actually asked, was she drunk? Yeah, that would be how it would have to work, right?
Yeah. She's All right. So back. Back to this, and just the artwork in here. This was one of my favorite ones. This is where she's trying to convince her to knock off this guy Krim. Krim is very important, by the way. How his character progresses throughout the story. I want you guys to. In fact, if you guys read this, I want you to message me or get back to me on a different stream of how you took this story, because I really want to see people who read it for the very first time. This is one of a full page breakdown right here. When the ship takes off, when Krim's, the ship's automatically taking off on its own. There's the one where she gets shot. Now, this is all at the beginning, so I'm not really ruining anything from you guys there. Because remember, she's on the power. Like right now, she sees that she can be hurt because she's been depowered. And let's see. Frames like this, and like I said, it gets way more. This crypto, it gets way more violent and way more, deep. It also it reminded me of some of the stuff Neil Gaiman wrote in the mid '90s. That's what it reminded me of. Here's another frame. And like I said, I don't want to show too much beyond this episode. There's a fight scene between the mercenaries, him and his arrow, the sword he stole, and that's why you see the sword is a prominent part in all the covers that you see, because it's her sword. It's the girl Ruthie's sword. And I can hear the chimes. Ding dong. Last one I'll show you is 2. Because like I said, once you start getting into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, especially 7 and 8. 7 and 8, I think, are the 2 best issues. The way it ends, though, is kind of controversial. It's not a traditional ending. So here's a cover of 2. I had all these, by the way, and I still have some of these here. Well, once again, the artwork, the monochromatic pages that they did, like this one right here. I'm showing you is primarily green. Is it showing up? Let's see. There you go. A lot of the storytelling is told this way. And it's very alien. It's very, very alien. So that's all I'm going to show you from that one. But you can get this on DC Infinite. It's one of the ones you get, for your trial membership. You can, if you don't, I would rather you guys be honest with you. And yes, I'm biased. I would rather you go to your neighborhood comic store and get this. Because this is the kind of story, be honest with you, that's going to get you into comics if you're not already in. And the one thing I do like about what James Gunn is doing is he's making a connection between the common folk that are just following movies and this. Because I've had a lot of people come in and ask for this. And that's why I got this back in, because now, especially with the announcements and things like that, and as we get closer and closer and closer, you're going to have people picking up things like this. And to be honest with you, you don't have to be connected to the rest of her story. You don't have to be connected to anything Superman. Yes, it's the basic Supergirl, but the story that they're telling here is so detached. Tom King literally takes her away from everything that makes a traditional Kryptonian story, a traditional one that we've been watching or reading for the last maybe 30, 40, 50 years of comic book them. Much in the way, if there's another comic book story that I'm going to review later on, it's called Superman Lost, where he has to fight his way back. That's another excellent story. So you have 2 super people stories, and it's their best ones are the ones that are taking them out of their element and making it so that they have to use other things. But like here's an example of the violence that's in there. Sword right to the heart, arrows to the eyes. A lot of heartless mercenary violence. There's dragons. Hey, there's dragons in this. It's just a great. It's Tom King's best work. Other than Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, it's one of the best female-led stories that I've seen in the last 10 years. It's literally there's Comet the horse. His story in this is brilliant. Something I did not expect coming into this. And like I said, I can't really go into more because I want you guys to read this and get back to me. Is there anybody in the chat right now, and identify yourselves if you've read this already? And then there's all the alternate covers and stuff that came out then. I got all these when they came out. Now I still have some of these, and this is the one that's most commonly used right there, is that one right there. It's a weird book. It reminds me of Vertigo stuff, but it's Tom King's best. You can get this anywhere for about $20. And sometimes it's cheaper if you can get yourself a used one. You can get it for about $10 or $15. Amazon's got them for cheap. Like I said, rather you go into your local comic book dealer to get these, but I would rather you read it than not read it. I would rather you read it on digital or go somewhere else and get it if you can't get to a comic store. I would rather have this in your catalog than not have it. So get it however you can. The books are still relatively cheap. I still have, like, this is a number 2. I still have a number 2, and I still have it for a decent price. There are some stores that have inflated the value based on the hype and expectation, but I've kept them cheap. I no longer have the full series, but like I said, this is $20. It's a bargain. The story is beautiful. Is there anybody? Let me see in the chat. Is there anybody who has read it already and that I'm not? Let's see. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. 4th last comment. Yeah, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This is what the trade paperback looks like. Let's see. Oh, wait. Absolute Kingdom Come and Dark Knight Returns. I need to order those. Absolute Kingdom Come is a tad bit pricey for me. But I have this. I have the straight up. And this is something I recommend to anybody who walks through the door. And when they say, I've been out of comics for a while, I want to get back in. This is one of those things I throw at them along with this. But Kingdom Come's a must read for any generation. I made a posting about that today. Kingdom Come is a must read for any generation out there. Kingdom Come is just, it speaks for itself. All right. So I can't wait to get back into comics. I can't wait for you to get back into comics either, Music Man.
Can I come back up?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops.
There we go.
I forgot you were. Sorry about telling me that.
I'm just letting you.
All right. So I just want to
break that all down.
Sure.
Do you do that much? Do you get a lot of like out of state orders or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I get a lot, and a lot of it is from people who have visited here before, and we give them the card or they scan the QR code, and there we go. I'm doxing myself, but I own a business open to the public, so if you're gonna come in here and do anything to me, you could do that without being on the internet. So there you go. All right. And also, when you guys look at the thumbnail while you're waiting for me to come on, you can always scan that flow code and that'll lead you right into everything. And there's sci-fi.com//shop. Now, I haven't added a lot of the trades on there yet because I've been buying a lot of them and getting a lot of them together, but I will eventually have all the trades on there as well. I don't know about individual comics, but you can always inquire, though. I mean, if you see something on the wall or if you see something, you follow my Instagram or anything else, and you see something like that and you want it, I can send you the link. And just like Phil the other night, I sent him a copy of Ultimate Spider-Man #1, which I got more of in today. So, yeah, thank you. Cool. All right. No, I don't. Neither version of neither of those in that version. No, I have Dark Knight. I have Dark Knight in paperback, trade paperback, and I have Kingdom Come in paperback. I don't have the absolute versions of either one of those yet. Okay, so numbers you read. So you kind of know what I mean when I don't want to trip over the landmine of bringing up certain characters because those characters have trajectories throughout the 8 issues that change drastically, and they are not what they are at the beginning of the story. Some of them, they're tragic, in my opinion. one in particular, I was like, wow, I don't know if I can finish this guy's story arc, but there you go. Right. You all right, man?
Yeah. Again, probably just the wind out back here just blowing against, and my microphone and making it sound like I have some kind of breathing issue to you guys. I guess I'll go ahead and ask this too when you laying out kind of the premise of Woman of Tomorrow, because you have said before that everyone in the chat, I can never go. Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Like you have said that, and I mean maybe this, I wonder how much this might go into spoiler territory, but you said that Sasha Kaye could not be the Supergirl of this story as it is being told by James Gunn. So what can you go into any more detail about that, avoiding spoilers for it?
The Sasha Kaye, in the brief glimpse that we got of her, seemed her tone and tenor was of a mission-oriented person, a focused person, focused on one thing. So if she got, her focus upon seeing Zod would have been just to stop him.
Yeah.
She seemed like a tougher version of what Cor-Zor-El would have been in a different universe under different circumstances. She seemed more, in my opinion, more sure of herself and that mission. In this Supergirl, she's trying to. It's almost something I really think said I would never be into, and it's a coming of age story.
Yeah,
it
definitely sounds like that.
Yeah, it's her coming into her own without all the things that a traditional Supergirl has. Cor-Zor-El has all those in the Flash. When you read this story, it is a deconstruction. It's a deconstruction of what a woman would be. See, Supergirl Worlds of Tomorrow is more about a heroine, is more about a woman superhero than it is about her being Kryptonian and her being Supergirl.
Spider-Man
There's not a lot of it.
He says, attitude-wise, Sasha Kaye Supergirl resembles New 52 Kara. I would say so. I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's much more structured. It's much more focused. In this story, I can't imagine Sasha Kaye in this story. I can't, knowing the story and knowing how that one was portrayed, I think it would be like oil and water for me. So now, once you guys read the story, then you can decide for yourself. I don't think it would be a good fit.
Aaron also asks, real quick, Number says it's best to go into Supergirl One from our cold. Okay, well, I pretty much am. I mean, because I haven't read it yet, but I've gotten a good little rundown of it from William tonight. I think we all have. Which comic book you really, and that Superman True Red and Superman Red Sun, I wish DC made another alternative Superman story when his pod crashed. Yeah.
He'd be eaten by something there.
Well, no, it's like he lands, and that's like even as an infant, an alligator would try to bite his head off, and it's like it would break its teeth trying to crush his skull because he's Kryptonian. Yeah, come on. So what would we call
infant Kryptonian just wipes out all the wild?
What would we call that? Like Superman, the man from the land down under or something? Would that be it? That's
Superman down under, yeah.
Yeah, Brad Sasha is the Kara that would have received the red power. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Now I can really see that. Now I think about it, when she's pissed off at Zod and screaming, "What did you do?" and smashing him with a 2x4. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So, okay, we got any more in the chat? I think we're pretty caught up on the chat. If you want to jump to the next topic.
All right, so we've covered that. What else is on the thumbnail? I forgot what I put on my damn thumbnail. Oh, wrong screen. I have so much stuff on here because I want to add, and I didn't kill all my screens this time. Yay, I did good. All right, but yeah, please read Supergirl World Tomorrow, with or without James Gunn movie. You just need to read that one. It's just, I guess I can't express that. You need to read Wonder Woman Dead Earth. You need to read Kingdom Come. I mean, but more than any book that I've given you guys, that's probably the one that That's probably the one, especially with its relevancy coming up now. So, all right. So, we're going to talk about Elektra. You haven't read the comics, right, Brad? Oh, Brad. Did I freeze or did Brad freeze? Brad. All right. Well, Brad's finding a sound. Let's bring up all the versions of Elektra. All right, so here's all the versions of Elektra that have been on TV, screen, things like that. The current version of Elektra, the one that's been in, Daredevil. Obviously, you have the one, the one that was in the 2003 movie. You have, Marvel Knights version of her. This rumors are that rumors are that she's going to be part of the story coming up, and I don't think that even needs to be a rumor. I think that's that. How can you tell the story
without the return of Elektra?
And you just can't do it,
Well, especially if they are, as Kristen Ritter's recent teasing seems to indicate, that Jessica Jones, be returning, and Elektra is a far more pertinent character to Daredevil than a Jessica Jones, other than as a team up character on Defenders.
Which is, I'm trying to forget that ever happened. That's the one weakness I think. One of the few weaknesses I think that the Netflix version of it. I don't think. I think Elektra should have been solely in Daredevil, and that's it. Elektra on a team up to me has always been a
no. I'm talking about Jessica Jones being a.
Okay. I thought you meant because I did. Elektra died in Defenders, didn't she?
Ostensibly dies at the end of Defenders.
Yeah,
but no, ain't nobody, So, and she died.
Obviously, we know she's not dead, but
she died in season 2 of Daredevil, and we saw how that was undone.
Yeah, I that's the one of the things that I hope they do retcon and adjust. To be honest with you, I think her storyline deserved a better execution. And that's just me. I know it's probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but when it comes to Elektra, to me, this is preeminent Elektra. Bill Sikowitz is Elektra from Elektra Assassin. Painted covers. This was one of the things that helped put him on the maps along with New Mutants. Is there a fucking bird in my ceiling tile?
By the way, Droga points out your fan cast Gal Gadot as Elektra. Actually, a true story. Elodie Young was actually had been in the running for Wonder Woman alongside I think Olga Kurylenko, and Gal ultimately got it. And then of course Elodie went on to Elektra, and I think it worked out for both of them. Like them both very much.
Although Gal Gadot as Elektra would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on, let me pull up some of this real quick. I got too many. I had this poster on my wall. That Elektra Assassin with that ginormous gun that's too big for her. And she's holding it with one hand. When I went to Comic-Con, he had all these there. And he had this one. This one was cool. This one, he had a poster. And years ago when he was at Comic-Con, I got him to sign this. But he's the one that really defined what Elektra was.
I'll be right back, man.
All right. And then you also have stuff like this. If you guys haven't read, a series that came out, or Elektra, they did black, white, and red for a lot of the Marvel shows. Daredevil, black and red. I mean, a whole bunch of them, black and red. Wolverine, and what it is basically, it's a black and white comic, but it's the titular character is highlighted in their natural color, and obviously hers is red. So every panel is black and white except for her. There it is right here. It's just very good. It's very violent too, and then the covers are great. And then, like I said, the show. I mean, one of the things I don't think they handled well is Elektra. I like the actress. I like the premise, of her. I mean, they stay true for the most part, but I think she should have been entirely on Daredevil. I don't think she should have been on any other show. I hope that now that they have another shot at it, that the look and feel of her continues to go in the direction of Bill Siekowitz's version of her, or Frank Miller's version. I mean, Frank Miller wrote that story that I just showed you, Elektra Assassin, but I think it was Frank Miller. But his development of Elektra from her first appearance in 168 all the way up to the point he kills her in 181. Is a great story that's told. They tried to tell it in the movies. It just didn't work. In many ways, it only works on paper. But now Brad's gone. I needed to get his opinion on. What is that? I wonder if they're fixing the roof at 10:14 at night. So let's see. I have ordered the comic on Amazon. What did you order? Supergirl, Ruthie? But yeah, hold on. I'm going to answer some questions real quick and wait till, because I want to get Brad's opinion. William, did they explain why Batman never became Green Lantern since I wonder what that is. I never saw an explanation. I never got into that particular storyline. Sorry, numbers. I failed you. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh yeah, you came back to the same time. I don't know if somebody's up on the roof or not, but to kick somebody's ass. All right. So, what is your opinion of? Did you read the comics at all? I don't know.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Or
the Elektra, specifically Elektra.
Somewhat. I probably not as in depth as I think probably you laid out there, but probably as more mainline Daredevil is kind of what I've read. But Ruth has a good one here about the individual we had to time out. I don't know if I should bring it up or not.
Nah, I don't know how that guy even.
Yeah, that was what the fuck are you doing, man?
You hope they recast her? You don't like that actress? What do you think?
I like Elodie a lot. I really dug her as Elektra, and I liked her way more than And I need to qualify this when I say it's like I did not like Jennifer Garner's Elektra, but that wasn't her fault.
Yeah, that wasn't her fault.
It was the material she was given. It's like, because Elektra, you have to think Elektra, she's a warrior, she's a ninja, she's completely on Daredevil's level. She could she can go up against anybody he can, and the way they portray her in Daredevil movie, it's like she's got some level of fighting skill, but she just doesn't exude the same kind of like coming from like decades of like she was. The idea behind when you see Elektra, you should get the sense that this is a woman who like grew up like in a temple, in a faraway land, training since childhood to be a warrior. That's the impression you should get from Elektra Natchios in any incarnation, and they just didn't give you that in the Daredevil movie. They give you the impression like she's a rich girl, she's been to a dojo a couple times, and she gets taken out by Bullseye far more easily than Elektra realistically should have. So. Yeah, but that again, that's not
even in the comic. He the way he killed it, I don't think that would have floated, because, like I said, he used his abilities. He throws. I mean, he's dangerous with throwing of weapons and everything else. I just think that I always thought that was a time where Frank Miller wanted to make him such a formidable villain.
Yeah, Bullseye. I mean,
that's what he did.
Yeah, so I didn't get that impression from the way her Elektra's story in the Daredevil movie was structured. It just felt like she was a very high society, girl who just
which she was. She was
she was. But that's like that. That's but the emphasis they place on that is like it comes at the expense of the warrior side of her. So
yeah. By the way, so everybody's always saying, well, they need to get a so-and-so to play this person because that's their ethnicity. This lady is...
Well, Elektra is Greek.
Yeah,
Elektra Natchios is Greek.
French, yeah. French.
Yeah, Elodie Young. She's from France, but she's like her ancestry, I think, is Cambodian.
Yeah, which is, fine. Yeah. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
But again, everything I'm laying out there, it's like that's not the fault of Jennifer Garner. It's just the script she was given to work with.
It's 10 o'clock at night. What is rumbling around?
Here's a good
weird shit happens.
Here's a good story. Talking about a bird flying in there. My dad was in Afghanistan, 2009. It was Christmas 2009. So, my sister and my mom and I were, just trying to, just support all each other while he was overseas. And then Christmas Eve, we're all together for Christmas Eve at the house, and our dog at the time, his name was Red. That Christmas Eve, he brought a dead squirrel into the living room. This is a big dead squirrel, so it's like I had to, get the gloves on and take him out. But that was a weird situation of an animal that should not be normally inside of a domestic residence finding his way in, albeit posthumously.
Bullseye. Deadshot, from what I understand, is his weapons or he needs a weapon to be lethal.
Yeah, Bullseye. It's like he can pick up like a paper clip and like just and he does that in the Daredevil movie actually with that guy in the bar. He breaks up into a bunch of different sections, like flings them and hits that guy in the throat. So.
Well, he likes using cards. He can actually cut. How you see those people cutting things with cards as they throw them. He can do that.
He could give Gambit a run for his money as far as like card throwing. And that's the thing I'm still looking forward to, having the return of Bullseye also in Daredevil Born Again, because they play that so well. His ability to just pick up anything he can lay his hands on, he just picks it up, and it's like a bullet from
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, and it got so creative again. Like there's parts where he breaks up a rosary and throws the rosary beads. He's throwing candles. Yeah. He's throwing what else is he? Shards of glass. But my favorite one was still because it's got the basis in him, being like the perfect pitcher as a kid. He picks up the baseball in the newsroom and throws it against the wall, and it bounces off and hits Matt right in the nose.
Yeah, it's he's very deadly. I mean, he can literally, because the way his power is not even a power; it's a skill. I mean, he can throw things, and he throws them at such a velocity that in a way that they become weapons just based on that alone. So he doesn't even need he's dangerous with things around him, and he's also trained with blade. He's trained. He's deadly with things that are supposed to be weapons to begin with, but the things that he can turn into a weapon, he can turn a book into a weapon. He can turn a playing card into a weapon. He can turn a penny into a weapon. He can kill you with a penny by putting the penny through your eye socket and into your brain. He can throw it with that kind of velocity, and that's what always made him dangerous. But Daredevil was because of Daredevil's powers to be able to sense where everything was coming from him. He was able to battle Daredevil, but ultimately he was no match for Daredevil once he got close. Daredevil basically drew him in, and when he would draw him in, Daredevil would just beat the hell out of him. And that was it. You know, his biggest weapon against Daredevil was distance. And once he couldn't keep distance to Daredevil, then that was it. He was done.
Yeah. But that's why they're so good. You know, as rivals, because you have that yin and yang, you know, kind of effect where it's like Daredevil is, you know, more kind of, you know, he's got his radar sense, but it's like for like combatively, he's very good at like close quarters fighting. And Bullseye, he wants to keep it at a distance, with, you know, just throwing stuff at you.
What is Daredevil?
He's a ninja, exactly.
So you got to realize that ninja, you know, these ninjas in comics, like I said, Stick was a ninja. The Stick killed ninjas that were of the highest order. So with a stick, Stick literally killed like 6 ninjas with a stick. They were fully armed ninjas with swords and stars and magic and all the shit. Stick fucked them up with a stick. And I'm like, wow, this old janitor dude just wiped out all these ninjas with a stick. Now I know why they call you Stick. You know, but he goes back. He goes back way back. But he's a very lethal person. He trained Daredevil. He trained Elektra too.
Yeah, but going back to Elektra, it's like she has not been announced. And I would imagine they're still keeping some things under wraps. But
I've heard that she's
there is
they talked to her and she did that whole.
She basically pulled an Andrew Garfield. It's like, oh, I'm totally not in this.
Yeah, but she did more of the. I mean, she actually quoted. Hold on. Because she actually said something. That's why I even brought it up. Hold on.
Okay. That's gonna be fun if she has to basically do like Andrew Garfield did leading up to No Way Home and just bullshit her way through every interview and saying, "Oh, I swear I'm not in it. I know it's an open secret."
There's no reason not to bring her back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it just doesn't make any sense.
I never believed that she was like dead in perpetuity at the end of Defenders going into Daredevil season 3. It's like, yeah, of course she's going to be back. Maybe not in Daredevil season 3, but I always thought season 4, however they would have continued. I always saw her coming back. So there's no reason not to, especially when you've already brought her back from death before.
Okay, Elodie. I'm fucking up her name.
Elodie Young.
Oh no, okay. Elodie Young wants to return as Elektra. When Daredevil was rebooted by Netflix series, the role of Elektra went to Elodie Run, played the character in season 2 of the series and reprised the role in the Defenders, which was a mistake. With Charlie Cox and Matt Murdock returning to the MCU, fans expected her back as Elektra. This is on November 30th, but she actually was quoted somewhere. Now I can't find it. I hate when I do that. Here we go. Daredevil's Elektra actress responds to Marvel fans, and this is all right. Daredevil's Elektra response to Marvel fans. Daredevil Born Again is effectively serving as a 4th season. There you go, Brad. Daredevil series that originally debuted on Netflix. Not only are Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, and Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin back, but the Marvel Studios executive Brad Winderbaum has confirmed the shows in the Defenders verse. Wow.
Yeah, I don't like that term.
Wow, that is a horrible name for that. Are in fact part of the Marvel Studios sacred timeline. Believe it or not, that's only the tip of the iceberg. Since then, it's been confirmed that Deborah Ann Woll and Ellen Hinton are returning as Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Wilson Bethel will also appear in a handful of episodes as Bullseye. With returns found aplenty, there's still one major question mark: Is Elodie Young going to be returning as Elektra? According to Young, is it Young? Is it Young or Young?
Young. I mean, that's always. I mean, I've heard it pronounced Young, so that's kind of
okay. So Young herself, she's not quite sure. In a recent Instagram post, a fan asked Young where Elektra went after the Defenders. Young replied, "A simple answer: ask them."
Yeah, I saw this one. Yeah.
Yeah. If Marvel Studios ever decides to bring Elektra back, Young is ready to step back into action as actor, as she'd love to return into the role. One that's since become a hit around the world. Oh my God, I would love to, especially since they adjusted my costume. Yeah. Young said about the return during a fandom a spotlight on the Wizard World panel in 2020. I'd love to. Let me tell you, I love this character. I like I said, how do you not bring her back though?
Yeah, I mean, like what would be I don't see what the reason not to would be.
Yeah, if you're bringing these other characters back, I mean, Foggy is important, yes, but you know, Elektra's story is more essential to me. I mean, differing opinions than Karen Page's story. You know, I mean, her story. She has an arc where you know
She
her arc.
she is the one who relates to much more to him as Daredevil than they do.
Yeah, because and they all a lot of people know his secret identity off the bat, which I find is hilarious. But all right, well, there's a Elektra portion of the story, and now real quick, we are going to
Album of the week.
Yep, Ride the Lightning. By no means the best Metallica album. It's really good though. It is. Let's bring it up. This was vintage. This was that transition period where they were becoming like not mainstream, but not garage either. You know, it was stadium time. You know, this was Monster of the Rock time that they were going into. I still love this album though. Like I said, it's not Injustice for All. It's you know, I would say it's number 3 for me. I would have to put Justice for All first. I would have to put the Black Album second, and then I would have to put this one third, and then my Master of Puppets would be after that. Let me bring up the tracking list on this one. Okay, so it's the second studio album. So this was right after Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is a raw album. It is a completely unrefined, lightly produced album. This album is where they started to get their production values to the point where not necessarily better for worse, but you started to hear a change from where they were at on Kill 'Em All until that you can definitely feel the difference between 1984 and this is 1984 because Kill 'Em All was released in 1983. So right here, they're still a young band. They still have songs that I think Mustaine was probably still taking credit for. And then their next album would obviously be Master of Puppets, and that would be the tour of them, which they lost their basis. But they were. This is when you listen to Kill 'Em All. It's a raw album. It's also more of a thrash metal album than probably anything else that they've done. Be honest with you, that's their very first album. This album, they started with melodies. This is where you started to see the Metallica that it wasn't all fast. They started changing pace. They would come in fast, but then within the same song, they would stop and they would use different techniques, and then they would speed back up again. And this is when, most of these songs on here are very, 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 very long. I think 2 of them, one of them 812, 855, 636. So back in the day where you had, this is the cassette days, side A side, B side, Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, which is the title track, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is in my opinion, the best song on the album. A lot of people will say Fade to Black is. Fade to Black is probably one of the most famous songs in Metallica, period. I will take For Whom the Bell Tolls, and when you listen to it in concert, you'll know why. Trapped Under Ice is great. Ride the Lightning, this is how new they were. Dave Mustaine is credited. He's already gone from the band, I think, but by this time, and he's still credited. That's how new they were. Trapped Under Ice, Escape. Creeping Death is a great song. Call of the Cthulhu. It's all instrumental. It's just them and drums and the guitar. And then when you get the digital reissue, they have a nicer version of Who the Bell Tolls, and Creeping Death. But this was unrefined. This was unrefined Metallica, the end of unrefined Metallica with Kill 'Em All, and they were getting into that where they would be a Masters of Puppet. Still fast, but a lot of melody in this one, a lot of change of pace in this one. And this is where I wonder what the hell that is. Maybe it's a rat. There's nothing in there to eat but my burger. And you're not getting that. Hope it's not a bird because there's nothing I can do for it. Whatever. Yeah, change of pace type of deal. Like I said, third favorite album.
Boy, this guy must be crossing some trouble in there.
I don't know what the hell this is. I'll be right back.
Yeah, while we're waiting on William, I'll go through the chat a little bit here. Let's see. Brad, oh no, I'm not going. We're not touching that topic anymore. No, sorry. Does Elektra like nachos? I've heard she does. I've heard that she does like nachos. Don't quote me on that though. The one who played Elektra is a good actress. She was in TV. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was also in District 13 Ultimatum. The sequel to the parkour movie. Yeah, from 2004 District 13. She was pretty awesome in that. She was got to show off a little bit, as one of the gang leaders that they have to team up with. Let's see. Oh, Droga asks, "What if Oliver Queen was like John?" That'd be pretty awesome if to see like John Wick with guns like applied to like Green Arrow with firing arrows. That'd be pretty awesome. They should do that.
That would be cool.
That would be like cinematically. That'd be the perfect way to tackle Green Arrow. I would love to see that, like a John Wick approach to Green Arrow. That's an awesome suggestion, Droga.
Yeah, best idea I heard tonight. Yeah. All right, so that's where I am with Food the Bill Tells. Yeah, food is great. It's great.
By the way, what do you think of Ride the Lightning being used in the marketing for Wonder Woman 84?
Had it been a good movie, I would have had no problem with it. It was a bad movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
I got to go see Woodstock back in Woodstock '99. Oof.
Woodstock '99. That was a bit of a shit show. Literally at one point.
My cousin bought me when I was only 13. Got there Friday night, and Korn left Saturday. Metallica. Oh wow. Yeah, you left right on time, man. That was sad because it was
it turned in
1994. Yeah, it turned really bad. People got
it turned into like almost like it turned into a riot. I mean, it's like and like again, it turned into a shit show in a literal way at one point.
Yeah. All right, so that's my lecture part. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up the not lecture. I'm sorry, Metallica. That was my Metallica. Ride the Lightning. I was so distracted.
Well, kind of halfway there with the lightning part.
Yeah, no. So that's my presentation for this week. I'm going to hand this over to Brad, but while I'm at it, Brad, you know how to bring people in, right? Once they pop up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Please don't make me regret it, guys. Number
is actually. I'll bring it up because Number is once.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's up?
He's begging me to bring this one comment up. Does anyone else think how Superman impregnated Lois Lane is by having a dimmer switch for a red sun light bulb while playing Gunawin's pony in the background?
On that note, I'll be right back.
Yes. Oh, let's come on, guys. Let's keep it PG-13.
Be right back.
Yeah, you got the link in there? Wait, you have the link in there, right?
Yeah, I put the link in the chat.
Okay, so if you guys want to jump on, you go ahead and click the link.
And I'll be right back. I'm going to find out whatever the hell it is chewing through my wall.
Okay. See, Chappie says Daredevil Director's Cut is one of my favorite comics. Yeah, the Director's Cut is definitely a substantial improvement because it cuts out a whole subplot with like Coolio as this as this guy who's like wrongfully accused of that Matt's having a defense, so he's investigating that crime. So yeah, the director's cut is much better in the movie. So okay, Spider-Man, how's it going, man?
What's going on?
Yeah, so we're waiting on William to find out if this rat or this bird or whatever is in there. We can go and bring up some more of the chat. Break all this down.
There's a javelina running around in the store.
Yeah, Vince, how's it going, man?
What's going on, Vince?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, how's the new remind me again? It's like you were in receiving a Walmart recently, but you stepped back from that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I went back to my old position at Walmart, which was overnight stocking. It wasn't like receiving or whatever, but
Okay.
but I lived like 30 miles away from where I used to.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't working out for me and my girlfriend because
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it was like way much further away than it used to be.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. So are you moving to something else now?
Right now I'm just helping her with DoorDash and
Okay. Well, good luck with all that.
Figured out.
Well, best of luck, man.
I heard you had a couple of big
sorry, that worked out for you.
videos.
Yeah.
Vince, a couple videos here. What were you uploading?
Well,
And how's it going, Clint? With of course, with the wonderful image you have there.
Hey, it's joy and love, man, from the duck.
Yes, but yeah, Clint, something. Your question you had, Spider-Man?
I was just talking about Vince he mentioned in the chat he had a couple of videos that just went up that got a lot of views or something.
Yeah. So I uploaded they don't have my voice or anything, but one of them is a recording of Star Trek Online, and it's their new end-game mission, which is you replaying the Battle of Wolf 359.
Okay,
that's pretty cool. You get to hear like Patrick Stewart's voice and stuff, and for some reason that has 900 views in 3 days. And I wasn't really expecting that.
Well, there you go. You got a niche.
And then I recorded me playing Super Mario World.
Okay.
And
for Super Nintendo?
Yes, for Super Nintendo.
Get a blue Yoshi?
You actually get to see some of the different colored Yoshis in it.
Yeah, you got to get the blue Yoshi when you play Super Mario World. It's the only one that, you eat a shell, you can fly. I mean,
well, and I recorded this because I don't think, I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but I'm sure there's some people that don't know that if you go through like Star World, that little area, you get all those extra Yoshis and stuff, and you can actually get to Bowser's Castle in like half an hour.
Yep.
Ruth actually asked if okay.
Yeah, I answered her in the chat.
Okay, yeah, because she asked if you played Mario Wonder. So
I played it on the Switch emulator just because I haven't technically bought the game yet. I do have a Switch.
So, Brad, what's your favorite season of Daredevil on the?
I probably would go with 3. I probably would go with season 3 because and the show across the board is phenomenal.
It's great. I think it gets better each season.
I do too. Yeah, and season 3 is like
kind of like the Captain America movies with Marvel. They get better.
Yeah. But
I guess Winter Soldier is still better than Civil War.
Yeah, the season.
There was an escalating factor of those at least. So
yeah. Season 3 is Daredevil. It would be like the Captain America series, but like if the season 3 were Winter Soldier. I mean, season 3 is fantastic.
You guys were talking about how Bullseye was using the just anything he was picking up in the show, and they really in the church scene as when he's Daredevil, that played out really well.
Yeah,
for something so low budget and grimy, that show is so much better than anything Disney Plus comes out with. In that regard of the street level hero, because I really do like WandaVision, but when we're talking about like the Echo show, not that I have like unwarranted criticism or anything, or She-Hulk or anything where you're dealing with that, it looks like you're watching a Disney like those sitcoms they used to put on the Disney Channel. It has that kind of sheen to it. It just doesn't.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you, and I really dug also with season 3. Because I was excited just knowing they were bringing Bullseye in because I've been waiting for so long to see Bullseye on the show. But not only they bring him in, but just how much
I mean, that whole season's great. How Kingpin played the FBI agent, dude. How the Kingpin and Matt fight, the fucking bullseye all throughout the series.
Oh yeah, that just knockdown, drag out fight at the end.
It was amazing. That was a great season. Best show, best anything they put the MCU on. And I know it's a Netflix, and I don't want to make a camp, but it's the best MCU anything.
Well, they retconned it into being that.
Yeah, but they weren't. They spent all that time trying to act like their shit didn't stink, like they were better than that. Like, come on, you guys approved fucking the Inhumans. Relax.
Yeah, it is true. But well, okay. So that's my thoughts on it. But like Vince, Spidey, and William, your favorite seasons of Daredevil?
I'm concurring with you. I think 3 is the best. Although I love 2 because season 2 is basically season 0 of the Punisher.
Yeah,
season 3.
What is this series on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix,
and now it's it's on Disney Plus now. It started. They all started.
That's right.
They all started on Netflix, but then when Marvel,
Disney Plus has it because there's nudity and everything and cursing and all that in the show.
Yes, they have to put
the
thing on.
But Clint, yeah, it came out. It started in like 2015 or 2016 or something like that.
2016. Did the versions? What did they do to the versions on Disney Plus? Because I haven't watched.
They're unedited. They're unedited. I did a rewatch last year.
They just have like
2022, all the MCU, including those. So everything was on Disney at that time.
That's good. That's good because they needed to not edit those because those. I mean, they would rob all of the Marvel Netflix. I mean, they're all equivalent to our. If they did
R-rated content, yeah.
But it's like if you like try to water those down from what they're presented as initially, it's like you would just lose so much of their essence. So
yeah,
I'm very glad
it would be a disaster. It would
be totally horrible.
Those are all produced by Jeff Loeb, and like he had a lot of input on those. And
yeah.
They were all done by ABC Studios concurrently with Shield and Inhumans.
Yeah,
there's a storyline that crosses from Luke Cage into Shield, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, but I think find the ghost of your air conditioner, William.
Yeah,
and I walked around. I think, I mean, I don't know I can't tell where it's coming from. But there's people they're still in here that are throwing. I can hear their music through the walls, but I can't see anybody who's still here. So I'm like, you know what? Like I said, once I leave out of here, if it's a rat, there's nothing here to eat. I'm taking my burger with me. Once you make your way into here, you're going to be very fucking disappointed unless you want to read comics.
It's going to feast on your comic books. Ruth, the answer to your question is Wanda will be coming back. They didn't do all that setup and make us wait that long to finally get her to her real power and then take her away from us.
Yeah.
So she's actually going to be part of what I think is the when the multiverse collapses. I think it's going to be
now it's a party.
Oh yeah, that's the party.
She's actually going to be part of.
See, Numbers knows what's going on here. And Numbers, if you were watching the last episode of Jessica Jones and the last part of Luke Cage, the suit he was wearing when he took over the club, that's the suit he wears when he becomes the mayor after he beats Kingpin on the mayorship.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys didn't hear me, I've actually never watched the Daredevil show.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
You'd be in for a treat if you ever decide to watch it.
Yeah. It's the. I mean, I remember when because that was
How many episodes is that total? Like 22.
Between the 3 seasons, it's like 20. It's like 39 to 40 episodes.
Yeah, something like that.
I would say do a watch along, but that would take forever.
But it's the best everything that Disney did. If we watched 3 episodes a night, we would be good. Blake did it during the week.
There's the cat, yeah. And plus, you've got Defenders, is the bridge from season 2 to season 3. So you still got 8 episodes of Daredevil within that.
I don't know if I want to subject people.
Most of the shows,
Defenders was tough, Brad. Defenders was like an unnecessary show. I know there's things that are in Daredevil that rely on Defenders, but man, that Defenders of the shows, I get what they were trying to do, but it was tough. Yeah. You have the access to the entire hand, and then they made somebody up for a villain. Like I hate when they do shit like that.
You're talking about Sigourney Weaver?
Yes, I love Sigourney Weaver, but she's not a real person. They have so much more that they were building up in the show, plus they have so much hand lore going on in the book that you could have filled that with all of that, and they just gave us a business person running the hand.
Well, then she gets killed, and then Elektra takes over.
Yeah, but I'd rather if she could have got away alive. I don't care as long as they would have made her like somebody running the hand and from Japan or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
What's that for?
Say what now?
What's that you're holding up there for?
What's what?
But you held us up there for a second.
Oh no, I was just checking my vape against the light.
Oh, okay.
I can't lean too far back because it looks like I'm wearing lipstick when the red light hits me.
Yeah,
change your light.
That's awesome.
So
Well,
it's time to change.
Well, on that topic, since we started into Daredevil and kind of the developments of coming out of that, of course, they're getting the band back together for the primary cast of the show, but then there's also these teases potentially of Jessica Jones making some kind of appearance, and of course that fun. But so Jessica Jones and adding on to that, them canonizing Marvel Netflix, as a whole within the proper MCU timeline. So that obviously raised the question of what does this mean for the rest of the Marvel Netflix shows? And
I like Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones.
Hey, is she ever going to be powered properly? By the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like how every time they show her flying, it's just like Jessica.
She just jumps in the air and they cut away. I remember the episode they did that in when they first.
They did it a few times.
That kid, and then she's kind of panicking, like, "What do? I got to get out of the situation." And it just shows her. It shows her jump out of frame, but that's
jump out of windows and stuff, and then they don't show what happens.
Like in the comics, she can move a car without a problem. I'm not.
Yeah. They kind of like address it. She's what's it called? Best friend. They ended up making her Hellcat's best friend in there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of changes in there. She's Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel's best friend.
But obviously, I think probably one of the bigger questions they would have to answer if they are indeed moving towards bringing like the whole of the Netflix roster of characters back. Of course, is Iron Fist because of the mixed what happened like season 1 and then in rebounding with season 2. And listen. I know what you're going to say. You're Spider-Man. No, I am dying on this hill. Iron Fist season 2.
Iron Fist can't be helped.
Listen. I don't hate Iron Fist as much as you think I do. It's just that Finn Jones shouldn't have been the Iron Fist, man. You should have been the Iron Fist more than him because the motherfucker decided never to train for a show about being a fucking fighter.
Well, also they were given him 15 minutes to train too. So.
Say what?
They were given 15 minutes to do the training right before he has to do it.
Yeah, I get it, but they want, and it was during that time he was coming off of Game of Thrones, and they thought it was gonna, translate to star power. But everybody else in that show does pretty good. Misty Knight's actress is a terrible actress, but Jessica Henwick killed it.
She's awesome as Conley Wing.
I like that they added the hand. I don't know if I like the remember when the foot soldiers took the kids on Ninja Turtles 2 to train them in the video arcade or whatever. That was kind of that story they did. I didn't like that so much, but I like Steel Serpent. I like the what's the last the Meacham family. I like how they did that storyline. I like the dad, the Ward Meacham, the dude from 300. He was Ward is the brother, but who's the dad?
Is Harold Meacham.
Harold Meacham, yeah, I like that whole story. I like that you get the overarch of Claire Temple. I love that Jerry Hogarth, as all the shows go on, gets better and better, and she's really good in Iron Fist. So there's a lot of good stuff. It's just that Finn Jones fucks the show up.
I love the fact that Howard the Duck is right underneath William.
I was about to ask what William thinks of your Avatar, Clint.
It's just trolling. You have to. I mean, as long as it's not showing.
But I like Jessica Jones season 1 and season 3. And I know a lot of people don't like Jessica Jones at all. I
didn't know she went to season 3.
Huh?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she. Look it up. Daredevil went for 3 seasons. Jessica Jones went for 3 seasons. Defenders went for 1. Punisher, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. They both.
Luke Cage is one of the best shows. They had rappers at the end of every episode in a concert. It was Luke, and Luke's character was corny in the first couple episodes, but they straightened him out. You had the corrupt police, you had Bushwhacker, they had the
everybody on the stream sick. Is everybody in the stream got allergies?
They set up Dr. Voodoo, who's the next Sorcerer Supreme. They had so much nice shit set up in there. They changed Mariah Stokes and Stokes and Cottonmouth story.
Speaking of Cottonmouth, they gave her
Mariah Stokes.
I meant to say Stokes. I caught it.
And speaking of Cottonmouth, they gave Mahershala Ali his first and very likely only MCU role.
Man, he killed it in there. He killed it. It was great.
He's gonna be
the lady Alfie Woodard. She played Mariah Stokes, and she played the grieving mom on Civil War, Iron Man 3, one of the two. I think it was Civil War.
Yeah, that was when they
that was at the same time.
Yeah, because they did with that they tried to establish some. I mean, the connection they did. I mean, it was always very tenuous. It was they would like reference like they would drop something about a line about like the green guy or the guy with the hammer, but it was always very arm's length. And it was always
most of the Netflix continuity, except for Jessica Jones season 3, all fits in between Avengers 1 and Avengers 2.
Yeah, which that's really
the only temporal thing that's mentioned that's out of place and out of time, if it wasn't mentioned, is Luke Cage mentions Donald Trump, which throws the year that it takes place.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's where go ahead.
Real quick, Alfred Woodard also played what was her name? And she was in Star Trek First Contact.
Who are we talking about?
The movie. I know what you're talking about. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I do know what you're talking about.
It would have worked a little bit better if William was actually.
Yeah, I was going to say William was the.
I'll bring that back up when he comes back.
Okay, but anyway, what you were saying about where if it's timeline, because that's where they place them all on Disney Plus. If you like look at
because there's references to the raft. After the raft gets used at the end of Avengers.
Well, and also they had to place them there too because when a lot of the season started, the second season started dropping, they were released like after Infinity War, and there's no mention of the snap, so that wasn't going to work if they were going to say all these.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's it. Kind of there is a timeline, and the timeline is not necessarily set to the year that the movie is released.
Yeah,
in some cases it is, in some cases it isn't. All the Shield shows up till the season finale of the last season that came out before Infinity War lines up with it. The last 2 seasons after that or whatever, but because they weren't part of the plan. But they I don't know. They try to get all the shit kind of tied up together. There's connections between Daredevil and the show. What's the show called? Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah,
there's connections between Cloak and Dagger and the other show for the kids they made. What's that fucking show called? Anyways, The Runaways. That's what it's called.
Yeah, because those were a couple that they put on Hulu, but those kind of flew under the radar.
The Darkhold and Ghost Rider was set up in Shield, and then it gets brought back up in the Damon Hellstrom show, and then in Runaways, and then finally ends up in WandaVision, and then the movie. So the Darkhold had been getting set up for like 3 or 4 years. You know,
So
they tried to do stuff. They didn't believe in themselves apparently, but the story actually lines up.
Yeah. So, but now it's like you're the payoff of all that. 5-6 years later, it's like okay, we have to embrace all this continuity we've already established. I mean, it's like, yeah, they're finally paying that off. Wish the other company would start doing that more.
The worst thing that happened to them is they thought they were going to do the Young Avengers. And now they ended up having COVID and the writer's strike. So anybody they're setting up as these kid Avengers are all going to be like in their mid-20s by the time, if let's say it comes out. They do a Young Avengers story where they've already set up all these people that were supposed to be kids. They're all going to be like adults.
Yeah, that's
pointless. True. And Kang is out of the story, so Iron Lad's pretty.
That's another one too. Yeah, it's like because that's a big thing they're going to have to address is the the recasting. I mean, they have pulled the Band-Aid off on that as far as like it's not going to be Jonathan Majors.
But if you watch that last episode of Loki, they do set up Ravonna Renslayer as she could just the lady that plays her could just step into the Kang role, and they could move the plan forward as if they had it set up that way.
Yeah.
You look at what's going on in that last episode. That's pretty much where they left it. She could take over everything. And they could make the movies the same way and not even have to recast him.
Well, is that what you would want them to do, William? Because William's been very adamant. It's like don't completely throw your plan into a people.
I say make William Kang Powell.
Oh, you're talking about they really need to just recast it and finish and use that and Scarlet Witch and all that as their access to do what they're about to do. They really shouldn't do a pan unless that was something that Feige never wanted to do. Like if that was a Chapek decision and this wasn't his thing, and now you see Feige coming and basically taking the reins back to what he wanted to do. If that wasn't Feige's original idea and he wants to change it, that's cool. But if they're changing it because of the situation, then that would be dumb, because you've tied a lot into it and there's a lot that you could use going forward to make this all explainable. And you're going into Fantastic Four, you're going into traditional enemies of them, you're going into mutants, you're going into what could lead from Apocalypse. There's a lot of Genesis in that story that's still more than salvageable and that they should go forward with.
Hey, William, do you think they'll do a reverse No More Mutants? You think that's how they'll pull it off?
I think that's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to use her abilities and what Kang is doing with the sacred timeline and everything else that's going on and what Loki's doing. I think what's going to end up happening is everything is going to be blown apart and then realigned. And when it's realigned into what is,
so you don't have to hear that word reboot. You can get, what do you call it?
Selective realignment.
Selective realignment. Yeah.
So what's going to happen is you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have the Fantastic Four come about in a universe like that they don't exist in, and they're going to have to try to figure out why. But when you realign the universe, it's going to be where you always had mutants, and that's where Apocalypse comes in, because now that you've realigned the timeline, he's always been part of that timeline. You're going to have a universe where things that you did not see before will now have been always there now that you've realigned things. And I think Kang is very important in that.
There's a little montage they did on this show. I know you don't like the cartoons, William, but there's a show called X-Men Evolution, and there's a little montage they did to explain Insaba Noor's origin story without Kang, and they did a pretty good job how they explained it. Like how he's a warrior, how he had like his normal powers before he had the celestial technology and all that. They did,
and that's all consistent without Ramatut. They can tell a story without him.
Exactly.
I think that since you have him there and you're realigning things and you're already dealing with characters that are already part of that storyline, why not? Because I want to see Ramatut.
By the way, I just say sorry, interject, guys, because the link is in the chat, guys, if you want to join up. So in fact, actually, we got somebody boarding right now.
Man, just so we're clear,
don't bring him
on.
On.
The whole point of No Way Home is everybody.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Forgot.
How's it going, Droga?
Yeah, doing all right.
Go ahead, Spidey.
What's up?
Let Droga introduce himself. I was just responding to Music Man in the chat. That was the whole point of No Way Home.
Fuck him. What were you saying?
I'm sorry, Droga. That was funny though. Music Man said, "Will everybody know?" What's going on?
We got a whole party in here tonight.
Will everyone know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man if the alignment happens? But it doesn't matter because No Way Home kind of already took that out.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen because you realign things and to where those certain things just never happened.
Yeah.
Once you change the access point or wherever they do it at, then the universe realigns itself from that point on. So all the things that happened before that access point didn't happen. They're all going to happen, but in a different way. So it's like if I have a bunch of these pencils and they're all there and I break them at a certain point and fuse them into one. It's just basically that's where you're at right
spaghetti,
now.
William. Everybody knows the spaghetti.
Yeah, spaghetti.
All you got to do is say spaghetti.
I don't have spaghetti here. I wanted to show you, but I don't have spaghetti here. So. But yeah, that's what they can do, and like I said, that's what they've always done in the comic books. I mean, to their detriment sometimes. Like I said, that's what they did with Secret Wars, which is stupid. But you can actually use that premise with the movies in a better way than they did in the comics. Just don't make the mistakes you did with Secret Wars. Like I said,
but with Feige, he probably would do that again.
We also got RJ joining up. Are we maxed out? Are we maxed out? How many people we can?
I wish we were, but
what's going on, RJ?
I just want to say one thing real quick.
Vince,
we were talking about Alfred Woodard a minute ago, and I was mentioning she was also in Star Trek
First Contact. Yeah.
I can't remember the character's name. Rose.
She was Zephyr Cochrane's assistant, Lily. Yeah. That's her name.
My favorite part of that whole movie is when she backs Picard into that little corridor, and she's like, "Borg, that sounds Swedish." And he opens that thing, and she's looking down at the Earth.
Metallic. Yeah, he knocks on it. It's like a clear metal. And he's like, my favorite part of her in that movie is when he loses his fucking mind, when he won't abandon the ship, and he's like, and she's like, "Blow up the damn ship, John Luke," and he's like, "No," and then he gives that whole Ahab speech, which is one of my favorite moments of him. Where he's like, "This far but no further." I love that part of Love.
I was gonna say also in the holodeck when she's like, "I think he's dead," like when he used that Tommy gun.
Yeah, when he turns off the safeties and kills everybody. Yeah, not the connection to the Borg he had, and that's why it was so appropriate that Picard ended the way it did, because that was such an integral part of his existence. So, yeah.
If somebody were to step foot into Star Trek for their first time and get into it, where would you say they should start?
That's a good question for me, because I am the only Star Trek movies or shows I have actually seen personally. Really,
start with Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, the ones I've seen are the ones I think referred to as the Kelvin timeline, with the ones that have Chris Pine as Kirk. That was where I began with Star, and that's still the only. And it's not been like an anti me Star Trek.
No, that's where a lot of people. J.J. Abrams saved Star Trek. A lot of people, a good portion of the fan that's currently that fans of Star Trek started with that movie after basically it had been left for dead. Star Trek franchise hadn't had any.
That's where I started. Which is weird because now like people hate J.J. Abrams because of the sequel trilogy, but people
That's true.
Well, the different fandom too. Different type of psychotic fandoms.
I think
another way to watch Star Trek is watch every second movie of the old movies, like 2, 4, 6. The odd one's really bad.
Well, I think also the Star Wars fandom tends to be a lot more volatile. Maybe is the word I'm looking for.
Well, the Star Wars fandom.
Well, and they've been managed by people who, like I said, J.J. Abrams managed Star Trek fandom better than he because Disney wouldn't let him handle Star Wars fandom like they needed to be handled. But Paramount at the time did, because Paramount was in a different "what do we have to lose" phase. So they gave him control to do whatever he wanted to. What should have happened with Star Wars is there should have been no nostalgia. You can't be pussies and run Star Wars, and that's what they were. They were too afraid to let go of the Star Wars.
Yeah, but that was all because of the Last Jedi. They did something different. The fans cried out.
It was too late. It was too late. You can't unfuck things at the end. You have to unfuck them at the beginning, in the middle. You can't wait around.
They have their,
you can't unfuck.
Even if they have their plan that they went with,
like how you can unscrew a light bulb, you can't unscrew this.
Yeah, they just didn't do a good job of managing that situation, and they really should have had a better game plan. There was no plan with Star Wars.
Well, that's all because of Kathleen Kennedy. Exactly. Again, bad management.
No plan.
Well, even before that, her bosses had a mandate.
Yeah, they had no plan.
Yeah, but that was Bob Iger too. They're both kind of.
I think Droga had something he wanted to bring up too. Is it?
Oh yes, this was my idea for an Elseworlds.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the chat. You would talk about some DC Elseworlds stuff.
Yeah, so for my idea, a young Batman kills Clark's family and then kills Clark, who was later revived and wants revenge. Clark has been retired for 20 years until now. The world, which is similar to Overwatch, like the video game with its aesthetics and stuff, is threatened by the war world. And also, plot twist, Batman. Oh yeah, this Batman is killed by Superman, but it turns out
Did I miss something?
that this Batman was disguised. This Batman is actually Thomas Wayne Jr., and Bruce Wayne is in Asia being trained by Alfred, who is a member of the League of Assassins.
Dude.
So you were like taking everything and just shifting it all around.
Droga, is this yours or is this the GPT story?
Oh no, this is mine. Okay. And I've also made Oliver Queen similar to John Wick.
Yeah, no, I love that. I really hope that seeing Green Arrow cinematically whenever that happens, it's like that'd be so. I mean, just imagine the idea of the gunplay of John Wick applied to him firing his bow and arrow and his close quarters fight scenes. That is a fantastic idea, I think.
Like Legolas.
And two more things: I've made Martian Manhunter into Dr. Fate, and I've made Victor Stone into Shazam.
Yeah, I saw a couple of comments you left about. So you can that's kind of almost like DC. What if? It's like what if T'Challa became Star-Lord and yeah.
Well, how about do a what if J.J. Abrams' Superman movie got made animated?
Yeah, what's
do it animated this time?
Called Superman Mystery Box. It's not going to be good.
What's the temperature on that among everybody tonight? Because about the Black Superman, James Gunn saying that's still on the cards and that's still
dead.
You think so?
Well, like I said, you're asking a guy who has no answer.
Right. One thing that William says all the time is, and I know you're just asking the hypothetical, Brad, is we're not even at the Superman legacy yet, and we're already talking about another Superman movie. I'm not against it, right? But let's get this movie out. Let's get the Batman movie they're supposed to be coming out. Let's get this Joker movie out. Like,
let's get the fever started.
Yeah,
it's like walking into a Walmart.
They just gave us 4 movies that didn't sell this last year. So like,
well, they got to get the hype cut off at the knees. Is what
I know what they did, but the reality of what happened is what happened. So now they got to start from zero. So they got to get that build up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You're asking a guy who's not going to have an answer for you.
Exactly.
It's like going into the Walmart and then door greeter asking a door greeter what's the P&L for the day.
For now.
He doesn't. That's not his.
Later,
that's going to be a Zaslav question. Yeah. It's not going to be a James Gunn question whether that movie gets made or not. That is a Zaslav question, or whoever is in his chair.
I think they're asking. I think he just asked in general, like, what do we think about the J.J. Abrams movie being made?
I mean, it could be fantastic. It could be, it could be. Yeah, William, of course.
I'm fine.
Well, the
topic in general.
The fans way got the pitchforks ready at J.J. Abrams, so it doesn't.
Did I hear?
It'll be fantastic if it's an original story that is forward in time. Just please don't make it about social issues.
There's no way. I mean, yes, I agree for it. There's no way you're going to make a black Superman and not have social issues. It's like we can't be black without dealing with them because it's literally. I mean, come on now.
We can't move it.
Found that
all the white characters get to go to the stars, and
just like we didn't think any differently the previous 44 presidents, but it historically when that or the 43 when that 44th one came around, it just comes with the territory sometimes.
So would you want a black Superman in the 31st century running the Legion of Superheroes?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I'm open to that. I'm open to that.
Here then lies the issue. The Legion of Superheroes historically had 0 black characters in it at all until like after the Crisis. Always in the future they had all white characters in the Legion of Superheroes. They didn't have 1 black character until the Crisis.
Well, I mean, what does that say about the future then?
That has
the problem with Legion of Superheroes is they never changed or most of the original characters.
I understand.
You look at the Legion of Superheroes, and once again, look when they were created.
Right, but 1986 is a long time to have your first black member of the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying, like,
maybe that might.
Meanwhile, even in all the comic books, Black Panther, you had everything. Everybody had somebody before the Legion did. That's kind of the future. They're supposed to be telling the ideal future.
They got aliens in there. So
we took all the way to the George Perez to write that. Outside of
one good superhero with like no social issues made in modern times.
That's what you want.
I did meet Tom.
Just give him an adventure.
I met Tom.
Well, I mean, you get luck because even Black Panther.
That's what I'm saying. You have 2 equivalents and a black Superman in comics right now. You have Icon, who arrived during the slavery times until now, and acts basically as Superman, and then you have Blue Marvel, who arrives on Earth in the 60s and goes until now.
I'll pass on both of those.
Yeah, that's what you got right now. And the equivalent of a Superman, right? Of a black Superman that's not Calvin
Kryptonians
Ellis.
Or what?
No, these are Blue Marvel is a Captain Marvel in Marvel Comics, and Icon is like Superman. It's a Dakota-verse character. Dakota's a DC now, but Dakota was William, help me out here.
What's up?
What's his name?
I'm sorry, I was looking at
Dakota Comics.
Dwayne
Dakotaverse.
McDuffie or something?
Dwayne McDuffie, yes.
Oh.
Dwayne McDuffie's character. So, yeah. Icon and Hardware. Icon and Hardware. And,
Rocket.
Static. All that kind of stuff.
Rocket.
I'm saying Iron Man's Jewish.
Icon and Rocket, my bad. Yeah, that's what's up, Droga. Thank you. What'd you say, Forth?
I said, is Iron Man Jewish?
Is Iron Man Jewish?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but Ben Grimm is.
Okay, does he get a lot of Holocaust?
Yeah, Ben Grimm's probably one of the most famous Jewish characters in comics.
Yeah, it's like he and Magneto.
He's the most
Magneto,
famous. Thing, yeah.
And so I guess Scarlet Witch and
but the retcon them, William. They're not Magneto's kids anymore.
Yeah,
they are random kids that grew up in.
They grew up in Sokovia, and they're not mutants; they're enhanced people.
Is it Sokovia in the comics? I thought it was like Romania or something like that. It's like a real country in the comics.
That'll I give that another 6 months.
That happened a long time ago, actually. That happened.
Yeah, but you got to realize they're about to go into a new era of mutants when it comes to the X-Men.
Yeah, you're right, because that happened when they tried to promote the Inhumans, because Fox had the mutants and they tried to put everybody always hates the Inhumans and the Eternals. What they always try to put them ahead.
Vince says he had to jump, but he wants to say hi to RJ before check it out.
You didn't say hi to me. You said hi to RJ.
Hey, is Music Man all right?
Yeah, what is wrong? Yeah, Music Man was pissed about something.
Yeah.
He got
tired. I was gone.
We got the gentleman, Mr. Crescent.
Hi. Thank you for asking.
We got the gentleman, Mr. Crescent. Hey, Brain.
How you doing, gentlemen, Mr. Crescent?
We got some new people dropping in today.
What pissed Music Man off?
Especially that other guy.
He got tired of you guys talking shit about Elodie. He doesn't
what
want
the
to
hell? Why was I talking shit about? I was saying she was awesome.
I'm talking about in the chat. Fourth it's Elodie.
And by the way, it's like since we have a packed panel tonight, I'm just going to ask all of you straight up: which one of you is Williams Bane?
It's not
Strogan.
Not me.
It's me. I'm Bane. William,
I think get to the bottom of this. So who is
Chappie's admitting to it. Plus, he's been gone in the chat for a while, so it's like it fits. Fits.
Yeah, no, I forgot who suggested it, and give it.
Larry's here.
Oh, Larry's here.
Yeah, it's going, Larry. Somebody, I forget who said in the
why do you hate Bane so much, William? Bane's like one of the most iconic villains ever.
Okay, are you
we're not doing this again,
here, man?
Are you fucking with me right now, or is this
No, it's true.
Trash character?
Wait, Music Man responded.
Here's a better question then, William. Who as a character do you like more? Deadpool, Lobo, or Bane? If you had to pick between the three.
Oh, wow.
And death
is
is
there
not
a fourth
an
option? It's just eat shit. Is there a fourth option?
No.
Actually, there is a fourth option. Sorry. Who do you like better between the four? Deadpool, Lobo, Bane, or Venom?
Just real quick, guys, for Vince says he had to drop up because his girl would see. Okay. So, but thanks for coming on when you could, Vince.
Later, Vince.
But yeah, Bat too. It was a Lobo, Venom, Bane, or who?
Oh, when I said fuck Music Man, okay, yeah, you realized I was joking. All right, so these are horrible options.
Venom's a great character.
Chap, you're
Venom
not allowed to have input on this because you're just going to piss William off and trigger him.
You're flirting with extinction as it is. I would go with Venom. If I had to go with any of them, I would go with Venom. But that's begrudgingly.
Chappie, I'm going to ask you point blank. Are you Williams Bane?
Yes, I am. William, what are you doing? I can't come up. I don't know what Bane says.
Is that a yes or no? I can't tell if you're being facetious or not.
Yes, I am.
You are? Is it? Again, I can't.
Bane's voice. I mean, how much more of a fucking do you need, dude?
You'll have to torture him to find out any more.
Okay. Because I forget who was in the chat suggested it was Enosh, but.
Are you just angry at me because you saw my terrible reputation and how I was betrayed in Batman and Robin?
Well, you were betrayed in Batman and Robin.
Yeah. But as Frankenstein,
you were betrayed by the DC editors at the time for even saying yes to this character.
Okay, so when did you cook up this little plot you were going to troll us as Williams Bane?
It's not him. That's why.
Oh, so you were pulling on my leg there. Okay. Well, the search continues then.
Brad just felt
the difference between that is Bane and Batman and Robin is Frankenstein.
We should all change our names to Williams Bane.
He's just putting the bombs in. He's like, bomb. I was like, what are we doing?
Okay, Larry asks, how was the watch? Yeah, the watch party was awesome. We had a lot of fun with it. It's all the dead. Yeah,
we're doing Blade Runner tomorrow, right?
Fourth broke it down for everybody.
What was that?
The watch party.
Oh,
Dawn of the Dead. You know, the movie we watched a few hours ago together.
The same day. Are we still on the same day?
That's one of the few
I didn't know
movies
broke what.
I still haven't seen.
You broke the movie down. What'd you say, Chappie?
I still haven't seen Dawn of the Dead. That's one of the few.
Well, you got to get your ass on that watch party and get some views up. You got to start donating to the charity. Hey, William, by the way, you got some information on this charity?
We are still at 6,500.
Yeah.
You got like an advertisement or something for it? just in case somebody sees
Yeah,
this part of the
the
show.
watch party I did this afternoon. That's the advertising for it.
Well, next week it's Batman v Superman, so it's like that. That always brings like.
Shit! Yo, yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's
definitely.
always gonna bring eyeballs and people like.
I just put the link in the chat. Put the link in the chat for those of you all who don't have it. We are at $6,500. We are $500 away from 7,000.
In my top,
prior to April, I think we can 2 months away, but I think we can pull it off. We'll be doing watch parties, so I run out of movies, and then it'll get bigger as we get closer to Scargiver.
Yeah. Well,
it's easily in my top 3 favorite comic book movies of all time. I love that
BVS.
film.
Yeah, BVS is.
Which one?
Oh, you said BVS is like
BVS.
Yeah,
BVS.
Yeah, I would say so. It's definitely of my.
Even though I hear some people say it's one of the worst movies they've ever seen, which I don't understand.
Chappie,
why.
You're not allowed to say anything because you think Terminator Salvation is the #1 greatest movie ever.
Well, that movie.
So people are entitled to their opinions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me. Okay, let me. Now that Chappie has posited that, why don't I put it around the horn, like you can like list a couple of your like top 3 or top 5, whatever they may be. It's I know like RJ is pretty big on the Guardians movies. Would you put
I forgot he was there.
Would you put those?
RJ, you came onto the stream, but I know it was caused trouble. What's up?
I could get my Blu-rays out and I can do my top 10 if you want.
Like would you put those among your top 3, RJ, the Guardians franchise?
Why'd you put RJ close to you, William?
In terms of what? In terms of
CBMs, in terms of Hobble movies.
Now you came here to stir some shit. I want to know what it is. What's up, RJ?
Jeez. If we're doing like top 10, I have to think about that because there's like a
top five.
There's a lot of stuff, right, RJ?
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that they're asking us for a channel that's devoted to comic book content. You're putting us on the spot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying. Like I have to sit down and think about it.
Okay. Let me flip it then. Like everybody's worst.
Whoa. Kevin, no dog here. Yeah, we're having a BVS watch party next Saturday. William's going to give you the time later on this week. This is Kevin No Dog here, another new viewer. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. William's almost at 350.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, but let me flip that then. Like maybe pick some of your worst of it because that probably
the worst is easy. I can name the worst here.
I got my top 5.
Wait, let him finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say top 3 worst right away. I could tell you already. Top 3 worst would be Catwoman, Steel, and then probably Batman and Robin. Although I don't know, Fan Four Stick was pretty bad. That one's a modern one.
Oh, he's got another 100 there.
Yeah, we're at 6,600. Thank you. Who is it? Beekeeper. No, it's not Beekeeper. Different name.
There you go.
Godzilla.
Oh, you're dead. Okay, I think good. Thank you, Godzilla. Take a time out of your busy schedule destroying cities.
And watching as you destroy cities and enjoying your work as you destroy them.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. All right, continue after. Then I want to get to the bottom line.
Probably the worst comic book movie ever made was probably Catwoman. Although Steel is like neck and neck.
Steel is like Steel
is just forgettable. That's
no. Okay, I got to go on my rant here with Steel again. Okay, because I was like 10 years old when I first saw that, and I when I heard that was coming, I thought, okay, this is going to be cool because. I mean, we didn't have the term to assign to it at the time. I thought that was going to be the beginning of like the big DC cinematic universe because I thought, okay, his origin story is going to be Superman saves his life and he gives him the encouragement of it's like, okay, now live a life that's it's worth that. Do continue with your life and do something for other people now that I've saved it. So I thought, okay, we're gonna get the Superman cameo. He's gonna become Steel. It's gonna set up all the heroes crossing over. And what do we get? We get the clunky metal suit on the motorcycle with the garbage pile as his Batcave.
Yeah. Pretty good movie, I would say.
Well, like I said, that movie was dead on arrival.
Droga's never seen that. He's just fucking.
They have that S on the chest.
That's how William. Your expectations is pretty much what William had with Howard the Duck.
You know what? I like Batman and Robin. I watched that with my partner the other night, and it was like just really funny. We had a great time.
Well, it's easier to to handle that now.
Well, that's why I don't put Batman and Robin in the top 3 worst because at this point it's so bad that you can kind of just laugh at it. Like if you watch the movie as a comedy, it's not. I mean, it's still
if you watch it as Adam West for the '90s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, see, Batman and Robin for me is like Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Like it's bad, but you can kind of laugh at it, you know.
Hey, don't be dissing Nuclear Man. What are you talking about?
Nuclear Man's the worst idea they ever.
Can you put that on Batman and Robin though? Because that movie kind of intentionally was made like it executed
Schumacher
what it
made
wanted to
that
do.
movie the way he wanted to make that movie. He was.
What's a movie, RJ? What's a movie that you had hopes for that turned out to be
loves
bad?
the character of Batman. He wanted to do a Batman.
My
Year One
hopes
movie.
for a movie I thought was gonna be good was Quantumania. I had big high hope for that one, and when I walked out of it, I was completely heartbroken.
Why did you have high hopes for it? Oh, Salvation. I keep forgetting what I'm talking to.
No, he did that was a movie I had high hopes so that I walked out completely devastated. I just told him, yeah, the Quantumania. Yeah, that was an abysmal movie. I got it. That was.
I didn't like it, but I don't think I was quite as negative.
You didn't set yourself up with high expectations to be
I
devastated.
would watch Morbius over it any day.
Oh, we got another donation. Yeah, we
Oh,
just
we
got
did?
another. That was from. Can I bring? Yeah, we go ahead. Bring this up. We got another donation right after the last one. William, we just got another donation. Go ahead. And, here we go. Okay, yeah. Here from Save Everyone donated another $50. So thank you, Save Everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Hey, William.
The spirit numbers? It's not the worst.
Are you on mute? Yeah, he's on mute.
You're still on mute, William.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, William. I appreciate you putting Elektra up on here. Elektra's actually one of my favorite Marvel comic book characters.
Yeah, we were talking about the relevance because I think she's going to end up coming back in the series.
She's got good stories, man.
Yep. Especially Elektra Assassin. Elektra Assassin is like
even like in the last couple of years when she was
love that
she had
comic
a
book.
couple good stories. A couple good.
Number says the spirit is the one. That actually,
The spirit is trash. The spirit is trash,
That was
dude.
pretty decent.
That's trash.
I like the spirit.
I mean, it's kind of like bonkers and weird, but I enjoyed it. So
I saw it in the theater.
The Spirit's a trash theater experience, but when you watch it at home, it ain't that bad.
Ava Mendes is the best thing about the Spirit.
Yes,
I enjoyed
it is
it.
absolutely the best thing about the Spirit.
And it's directed by Frank Miller, so that's kind of another.
Yeah,
big
well,
plus.
that tells
That
you
doesn't that he's a comic book writer. He's a shit
Yeah.
director. He's pretty.
Yeah, he's a good screenplay writer, but not a director.
Yeah.
Well, he co-directed Sin City with Robert
Sin
Rodriguez.
City. Now
so.
that Sin City actually is one of my.
The Spirit's. I kind of what you're saying a minute ago about Batman and Robin. I would kind of put it in the same category. Where it's like it's like it's not good at all, but it's like but you can put it on like have like a nice kind of like your riff tracks evening with it. So
Yeah, I mean, I had
Vince
fun
in the
with it.
chat
I mean,
brought up V
it's
for Vendetta.
trash,
That's always,
but it's my kind of crap, so I enjoyed it.
At least you own your craps, Chappie. I can't be mad at you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make Chappie disappear for a long time. Just welcome him back.
No, he knows I'm fucking with him.
No, Kevin, it's not because they've got Steel now on Superman and Lois, and they have changed his origin on there, but they're really I'm really liking what they've been doing with him. Showing like the partnership with him and Superman, and they of course with Doomsday, the tease and season 3, they are setting up very likely something along those lines of Reign of Superman and Death and Return of Superman. We'll see how it happens with this being the final season. But yeah, if you haven't seen Superman and Lois, give that a look because they are really I really like.
Do you think that they would ever
Please don't fuck up
introduce
that
Steel?
show with that story.
I was going to tell you, like, do you think they would ever introduce Steel in the James Gunn DCU?
That's probably a better chance of that than anything, honestly.
Yeah, it's James Gunn because it's an oddball character that nobody cared about. So yeah, that's perfect for him.
Okay, William,
he actually already might be in the world established.
Yeah, there you go.
William,
might see like an Amertech logo or something where he works at. Who knows?
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. We just got another donation. So
great.
He's on it right now.
Oh, we're at 6,700.
Yeah, we're at 67. Let me pull it up here. So.
Oh, shoot, see, I'm gonna go party with Larry when I go to New York.
As long as you're donating to the cause, dude.
Dark Side.
Dark Side. Thank you, Dark Side. It's unusually generous of you, Dark Side. Thank you for using the old ways tonight.
Told you, step.
Oh, that's funny. I get it.
Yes.
Told you we would make up some ground by the end of the
Yes.
Yeah, and I got to meet Tom King though. Tom King was super nice though. Very
so you went
guy.
to a convention, Chappie?
Yeah, no, I went to MegaCon today and yesterday.
Okay.
And on
Where's that
Friday, I got to meet Tom King, and he signed my Woman of Tomorrow book. He was super generous, but sadly, he didn't tell me anything about the movie or that he read the script. So.
No, there's no script yet, so he's
Yeah, well,
he's
posted on his Instagram that the script is finished. So
we lied.
Yeah, because James Gunn didn't say because he doesn't even have the director yet for it. But
well, they said they have a script. They have someone writing the script right now. I don't know.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah. I don't know if it's done yet, but you know what? The sooner the better, because that's actually the movie I'm really interested in. I really don't. I'd rather have that one coming.
You
sooner.
seem way more excited for that.
Yeah.
I've always said for me the stuff I'm most interested in. Like I want to see Superman Legacy because I've actually liked the cast so far, and I think that it could actually be. But like for me, the three I've been most interested in was Superman, Woman of Tomorrow, Paradise Lost, and Lanterns.
That one. Yep.
Lanterns.
What was the last one? What was the last one, Roger?
Lanterns. Lanterns.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say like here's my question of like how are they gonna utilize Paradise Lost, especially now that Gal is out as Wonder Woman.
You just gotta understand it as like an ancient origin story for the Amazons.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry
I
about
want blood and sand, but I know they'll cheese out. But I want violence and hot chicks in there because that's.
They'll probably hint towards Dinah's creation. They'll probably hint towards Dinah's creation during that, but all in all, it's probably just going to be like.
But do you think they'll recast?
Of course.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to recast everybody, dude. Except for Amanda Waller and Peacemaker. So it's pretty much foregone conclusion, right?
Yeah, they casting Kurt Russell as Jonathan Kent, or is that just a rumor?
No, that's he was Caldwell. Yeah, James Gunn debunked it. So
I was gonna say their first actual celebrity casting.
Here's my question: do you think they'll get Martha Kent in Superman Legacy or no?
I would assume at some point. I don't know where he's starting his storyline though, too. I mean, because he's starting when they're just in the
auditioning kid actors, so we're gonna probably see Superman as a child. So
or maybe it's for Superboy, as in Connor Kent,
or random kids that work for the newspaper, just running around.
Yeah, kids with the paper route.
I mean, there's just because it's a kid could be. I mean, it could be any origin story. It could be any kid. It could just be a random kid that's in the movie. You know, so.
Well, I was just like daily playing.
You know what? Like, I know I've been okay. I'm gonna make a statement here. I know I've been shitting on James Gunn, the whole DCU, but like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance because I don't have anything left for DC, and you know what? Even though I'm not a fan of like the Superman,
there's nothing to lose.
Even though I'm not a fan of the Superman or Guy Gardner casting, like just I gotta give it.
It's like I said, it's free. It's free just to sit back and let it unfold. If you don't want to engage in it, because some of this stuff doesn't interest me at all. Some aspects of it really do. This actual legacy for me, what is that?
Yeah, thank you for putting your foot up to the camera.
Legacy for me, out of all the ones that have been announced, it's as it stands now is the weakest one. I want to get to Woman of Tomorrow. I want to get to Lanterns. I want to get to Paradise Lost. But I will.
Why can't we not get a Lantern movie instead? That's one thing.
The series.
The Lantern should have been a movie instead of The Authority.
Well, I have no use for the Authority, but you know, and maybe they'll grow on me. But right now, as it stands now,
I just want a proper Green Lantern movie. Finally, I just want to.
The show is fine. The show is fine. Just
I know the show is going to be great, but I want a final, like, just a proper Green Lantern movie than the one we got.
I would rather have a Green Lantern. Period. If it doesn't matter for me,
Chappie,
I'm not in favor of just giving me 2 hours of anything. I like series.
But listen, Chappie, it's like we almost had that one they were planning. That's why we couldn't have the Jon Stewart cameo as the SVO.
Yeah.
They were planning something. They totally had something in the works to Jon Stewart. That's why they couldn't put him there.
Oh my god! Did you see what happened to Jon Stewart in the new Suicide Squad game? Get out of here!
Yeah. Oh, I made
a tweet about it, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I saw you tweet something like, what was that one good one? I need to look at it again. You had like a good one-liner about.
And let me just clarify: I do not hate the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie at all. I think it's okay, but I just don't think it's not what the movie should have been.
Yeah, it should have been with him being in space.
Yeah, he was on.
And interesting enough, I talked with one of the writers of that movie, Mark Greenberg. I believe that's his name. He's a comic book writer, and he told me that it was going to be something truly amazing. But what happened was him and I think Greg Berlanti or some other guy.
Jeff Johns happened.
Yeah, I know it wasn't Jeff John, but he just said that like Greg Berlanti, and it was going to be amazing, and especially from like the storyboard artist, like it was going to be something truly good. But and because and they did a couple of drafts, him and Greg Berlanti and some other guy, but Greg Berlanti was going to direct it at one point. He was going to do the film, but what happened was that Warner Brothers, they didn't believe that Greg Berlanti could handle a big budget movie, so they basically kicked him off, and they brought in Martin Campbell and someone else to do rewrites, and that's pretty much history. So yeah, sadly.
Yeah, well, and I'm kind of with you there. It's like I think the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, it's okay, but it's yeah,
there's some good elements. Like I think all of the stuff on the planet, I think it's great. All the stuff where he's in the
stuff on Oa is really really well done.
And plus, Mark Strong was phenomenal as Sinestro.
I'm like, I want to go back to space.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was probably their biggest mistake was that so much of the movie it's so earthbound when it's a space cop movie. So
yeah, that's what I'm mixed on. Like the Earth part is
going Vanity
mixed on, and I think the villain's terrible.
That's a vestige of 90s and earlier superhero movies.
Like that guy looks like Elephant Man
on Earth and show how their slice of life is, and then make a whole story out of that before they get to the suit and to the power. In the old days, it would be a whole regular movie, and then you get the costume towards the end of the movie and get the fight with the villain.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is like I thought he was decent as hell. It's like
me too.
I was excited for of course all that talk about Zach potentially bringing it back. As Hal Jordan.
It always goes back to the Snyderverse with you.
Huh? No, I'm saying I was looking forward to like a Ryan Reynolds comeback. Because I'm saying it wasn't his. He wasn't the reason that movie tanked.
Well, but him and the director didn't get along on set too. Him and Martin Campbell, they didn't get along.
Yeah, I remember reading a bit about that too.
And Martin Campbell kept having to deal with the studio because the studio wanted to cut the budget at the end because they were spending so much money. But
they cut the budget.
Hey, real quick, Larry, I got your tip. I'll answer your question in email form because I don't want to answer it on the air.
Oh, I bet I know.
Larry,
I bet it's about the thing.
Larry, I ended up watching Gozu yesterday. Not that great, dude. What the hell, man? You've been giving me good stuff. Gozu was kind of trash, dude.
Well, you watched what?
Gozu.
Oh,
yeah, stuff on Noah was really awesome in the Green Lantern movie.
I'm sitting here thinking it was gonna be way worse than it was, Larry. It was pretty tame in comparison.
The gentleman, Mr. Can I?
And wasn't but correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the Green Lantern movie supposed to be the start of the DCU?
Pretty much, yeah. And then
then they went.
But yeah, you had a question, Droga?
What was that tweet you were gonna bring up?
Oh, I forget what you said exactly, but it was some kind of one-liner you had about like the Suicide Squad versus Killing Justice League. That's like a metaphor for DC.
Oh yeah, it's a metaphor for the new DCU.
Yeah.
That's what
I put the link in the chat. We're gonna go for about another maybe 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, and then we'll go.
Droga, you like how it's exactly the same story as Injustice?
Okay, and yeah, RJ had to take off. So,
really?
Okay.
So
hello everyone.
How you doing,
How's
Mr. Crescent?
Yeah,
right?
What's going on?
Mr. Crescent, are you new to the Sci-Fi Center?
No, I on occasion, here's my little history thing. On occasion, when Matt Jarman would throw out the link, I would show up and talk about movie stuff with him. RJ's talked with me with Matt Jarman a few times in the past. Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's
and
up?
Also, on occasion, Poindexter Lab did the same thing, so I would pop on and give my 2 cents on things and crack a joke, and then, hey, that's the end of the show. But I'm glad you guys are talking about some of this stuff now, because, man, I've been waiting for a month for someone to start pulling these topics out. Thank you all for doing this tonight. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Quick, though, if I
Good night, RJ.
should say about the Green Lantern, I like what they were doing with it, but there was messes in there. But I wish that it could have been more. I agree it should be more about space and more stuff about the Green Lantern Corps, and they should have showed the yellow core thing a little bit better and a better villain behind that. But the ending behind all that was Sinister, became the Yellow Ring Cord, whatever you call them. The end was actually great. His schedule was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But if I have to be bold, and please don't hate me for saying this, I'm actually on the outskirts hoping that DC gets their shit together. Because I'm not happy with them at all.
Not even James Gunn.
We're all hoping the same.
I know, but there's a big reason, William. I've been a DC fan for years. You read the comics, I read some, but I understand the business point of things to Matt's help, and everybody else is, but they need to get their shit together. I am not happy with their performance last year. They really need to get their shit together.
Would have been some of the strengths of DC for you.
To stand out, they have to do something. They have to figure something out, and I'll wait. I'll wait, but it's just like, come on.
Were you a fan of the Slate?
I'm sorry.
Were you a fan
of the James Gunn Slate
that they're doing? I like some of the stuff he's putting out. Yes, I'm. When he mentioned Swamp Thing, I went through the roof. I jumped 3 feet tall. I love Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
that guy's getting big noise right now. Thank you, James Gunn, for that. And Green Lantern, thank you for that too. That is big.
Yeah, one with tomorrow. Yeah,
that's where I'm at. I mean, like I said,
Supergirl. We just heard the casting call for that, so I'm a little curious how that's going to spin out. But I'm hoping that it gets treated well. I don't know much of this other stuff like Creature Commandos and the Authority. I don't know a lot of that, so I don't know where it's going to stretch to. So it's like, I don't know, if I should pay attention to all of it. I just want to see some of it. What's got my interest. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm going to do. It's like a la carte for me. Like I said,
I don't want to see all of it. Just the Green Lantern stuff and the Swamp Thing. You got my attention there. And Superman Legacy, I'm going to wait for that to hit on Redbox because I can't afford to do that. There's other movies coming out. I want to see more than that. I'm sorry.
All of them. I want everything that interests me is more appealing to me than Superman Legacy. But I understand that where that importance is of it. Like I said, Paradise Lost, Woman of Tomorrow, The Green Lantern Show.
Oh yeah, Paradise Lost, the Wonder Woman.
The Swamp Thing. All of these things are intriguing. But what I've always said, I'm cautiously optimistic but I just don't know where the company Warner Brothers is going to be to facilitate all this. So I'm not going to knock any of it. I'm sitting back here and I'm watching it all come together. But when I see reports that have happened, that have things that are going on with Warner Brothers and being downgraded and all these things, I don't know who's going to be running Warner Brothers by the time these movies comes out, one way or another. And to me, it's just all this is being launched on instability. And hopefully it settles down by 2025. But there's no evidence that it will. So I will take these movies as they come. Like I said, the other projects other than Superman Legacy, I'm not really. That's just going to be one of those. I'm hoping that it launches the other stuff that he is talking about that I am interested in. But as a movie itself, I'm there for it, but not like head over heels for that one. But the rest of the slate, when he announced it, I'm especially the format of
just a
Green
half
Lantern.
of the slate. It's not the
It's not even a part of the whole chapter. So unfortunately. Like I said, people can wish and hope for something to turn out right. Like I said, hopes and wishes don't pay for shit. There's got to be a more solid foundation.
It all depends if Superman Legacy makes money at the box office. That's what's going to break it.
And see that's a bad start. It's a bad start when you're trying to put something together that's cohesive. It can't be Babe Ruth, at bat, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on base, and you're going to just hit 3 or 4 home runs to get back to where you need to be. There needs to be time. Like I said, even though I'm not overly excited about Superman Legacy, it can't be fingers crossed hoping that it because there's a good chance that Superman Legacy might not make good money, but it still needs to happen for you to be able to put your cornerstone out.
But do you think if it gets good reviews, maybe they'll still move forward?
Here's the thing, though. Look at reviews, though. The reviews don't mean shit to me. Aggregates don't mean anything to me. It's whether they make the connection directly to the fan itself. Because by the time Superman Legacy comes out, people might not take some of these scores as to heart as they might. And if you market a movie, you can market around that stuff. And like I said, if it all depends on he's got to make a good movie no matter what, but the money wise, I mean, like I said before, if Superman Legacy cracks 500 million, somebody should get promoted.
I'm surprised they didn't start with a Batman movie first. They went with Superman.
I would have.
They always start with a good Batman one, and they didn't. Well, we got the Batman, and that was actually terrific right there in its own way. But I agree. Like Batman in the what are they doing? Batman
Brave and the Bold.
Brave and the Bold, which I'm not on board with.
Me neither. Give us a solo Batman one with a new villain we haven't seen before. Come on.
Yeah, but this time it's going to be Robin. We haven't seen Robin since
I could go my rest of my life and never seeing Robin.
Yeah, jumping straight to Damian Wayne.
Here's what the Bat family means to me. They exist to get killed or maimed or injured. I don't want to see.
Especially if you put a vote in for them to be killed.
I personally paid the money for this 900 number back in 1988 to get rid of Robin, and metaphorically, Damian's cool, but the Bat family, Batman is at his best when he's a solitary character. He is most marketable that way. Batman's the most marketable thing DC has. Like I said last night, his relatability to where we are as a country and as a society, as a world, is more marketable than what we aspire to be and what we hope to be, which is Superman.
We get that. We're getting that with the Matt Reeves verse.
That's great.
That's 2 more movies that are going to take 75 years to come out, apparently.
Yeah, they need to hurry up with that because they got me invested with the Penguin stuff right now. I want to see where that next one back to back. That's wild.
That'd be ideal if they.
I don't like they should have done Dune, but they were afraid that it wasn't going to make any money.
Yeah, but Dune's not that good.
Oh,
which is weird. Is it true that Matt Reeves?
Hey, it was nice having you on, Chappie.
Sorry.
Is it true that Matt Reeves is already writing for the Gotham?
I was pissed. I was
just joking.
That movie last year. I'm like, you guys.
No, that was Drogo just jumped.
Oh,
see you later, Joe.
Is Matt Reeves writing for James Gunn's Gotham something or whatever? He's working.
I think Arkham is in Arkham series. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Ooh, an Arkham series? Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm just really curious about the tone that James Gunn's going to go for. If it's going to feel like the
also,
Suicide Squad.
You guys think
that's going to be a lot to me.
The tone's definitely mean a lot to me as well.
That's the most important thing for me because if the tone, there's 2 things that are most important to me when I'm going to see any type of movie, and like I said, I was saying tone and pace.
See you, Drogo. That's having you on.
See you later. If those 2 things click for me, then you have me, and then story and everything else falls after. But if the tone isn't there, I can't connect. And that's just a preferential thing. That doesn't mean the movie's going to suck or it's going to bomb. It's just for me as a moviegoer, I have things that I need to see in a superhero movie to get me engaged, and it's going to be different from one person to another.
Yeah. Talking about tone and pace for a minute, the one that hit the example for me that came out of nowhere. When I went in to see Blue Beetle, I went in blind. I walked out smiling. I couldn't shut up about it.
Beetle.
I know some people probably didn't like it, but that was actually a good start for DCU. If it's supposed to be a
I hated it, but I'm glad you liked it.
It was fuck.
It was for me, Blue Beetle.
Box, by the way.
I had just lost my momentum at that point to the point where I'm like, why am I doing this movie? I can watch it on streaming when it hits. We to watch
green light.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they did.
And like I said, we were gonna get Greek the Monkey.
Yeah. Are you still there, Jarbo? Are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Go ahead, man. You're the floor's yours.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for everyone to talk.
That might never end. So.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's all good. I just literally got home from work where I spent like 8 hours talking to people. So, no, it's as for I guess the tone of Superman Legacy, I think Gunn is going to go for something bright and colorful. Like he's going to try to emulate the style of 78 Superman because that's just what everyone expects.
Yeah, that's
what everyone expects, and he'll add his own. He'll add his own flair to it. But again, people are so deathly afraid of trying to do anything new with Superman, which is one of the reasons why I keep calling him a boring character, because everyone's afraid Except for Zack Snyder
did something brilliant with the character.
He
Man
did.
Of Steel.
He did. He really did.
I know,
And people rejected it.
But the problem was you had the diehard Christopher Reeve fans that couldn't accept that. They just wanted a classic Donner take again.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's the funny thing too, because that's what Superman Returns got panned for. Although I will say, I upon rewatching that movie a few years back, I owe Bryan Singer an apology. It's actually a pretty solid film.
Yeah,
it's just it takes time to get used to it, though. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
If Kevin Feige had been running DC when Man of Steel and BVS came out, I think he would have gotten. I think the difference was not the way people accepted it is one thing, but if you have faith in the plan, because you just can't blink. You just can't blink.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah.
Management, you would have been.
No, they absolutely made the mistake of not following through with what they set up. I mean, and then of course, look, to be fair, it is easy for us to sit here and make those comments, but we're not the ones juggling several $100 million projects.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Man of Steel was successful and it was profitable.
Yeah,
it actually,
so was BVS.
I mean, well, BVS was, yes. You can make an argument that if you combine theatrical with what we know of home video sales, it did cross over the $1 billion mark. And it would be even more considering PVOD and things along those lines.
But the problem was because you had the critics that were bashing it, and since you had all the other Marvel movies like Civil War and Doctor Strange that were getting praised by the critics, that's why Warner Brothers got kind of butthurt, which is kind of stupid. But
plus, they spent too much money on it.
Plus the drop.
That's one thing I will contend. They spent too much money on it.
You
didn't have to spend $285 million on BVS. I think BVS would have made for cheaper.
Well, this is why I also, it's like, I mean, and William keeps telling me it's like these are numbers, excuse me, that we're never going to see, but this is why I very much would want to see the books open on, like, as far as the streaming and POV, and home media and overall performance of ZSJL.
There'll be dead bodies turning up in Lake Mead before those numbers come up. And to be honest with you, it's not in there. Like I said this before in the strike, it's not in their advantage to give up numbers to a certain point because of the fact that is leverage that they don't need anyone else to have. It's like, you're negotiating. It's like laying all your cards down, But
even now, like after the writers' strike, I mean, they do have to disclose those numbers internally now to the writers. So somebody knows those numbers, and
somebody knows those numbers, which is also going to be rules to how those get disclosed.
Yeah. Isn't it going through a third party?
Yeah, it has to go through a third party, and then that there are rules to it. So you and me will never know those numbers, and if they do, it's easily traced back to whoever put it out.
Eventually, well, let's be fair. Eventually, those numbers will come out.
But after they lose after they lose their position on the chessboard, as far as like so 3 years from now, you'll see streaming numbers come out, and it'll be like, well, after somebody's done with their negotiations. But while we're negotiating, you can, like I said, that's going to be like and I knew that when the strike came down, I knew as soon as they got to the cliff of full disclosures type of shit, I'm like, okay, that's when somebody's going to come back to the table, and that's when it was going to end. And look what happened. We got some of the stuff, but I was just glad for the strike to be over. But I knew we were never going to get a full disclosure because they would be fools to do that. Even though I wanted, they would be fools to give up that leverage, And that's.
Do you think that the release of the Godzilla movie the week after Justice League would have messed up the numbers? The performance of
well, they almost ended up on the same day. I mean, it was really up in the air with the release date and the proximity of those two was going to be. So
yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Which movies? Which ones?
When there's talking about I don't think that would have had any effect whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
not that people would be pressed to watch one or the other. They're both
because they were both conveniently available.
Yeah. But I was wondering if that would at all be a factor in skewing the Justice League numbers.
Well, also because I mean, Godzilla, it had the day and day thing, so you had the option of both theatrical or streaming for that. So,
but you could literally sit on your ass on your sofa and watch them both,
which was how I first saw it. It was on HBO Max.
So it was
a 4-hour movie though, plus a Kong movie.
Well, I said,
go ahead, Wayne.
For people who were going to watch that, Justice were going to watch it no matter how long it was anyway, or when it was, they were going to watch it. Godzilla was different because of, like I said, it had a rocky road to getting Godzilla versus Kong done. Like if Godzilla versus if it wasn't already in the can, we probably wouldn't have gotten that movie based on King of the Monsters. I'm glad we did because I enjoyed
yeah.
and I enjoyed promoting that movie. So I'm glad we did. Now we'll see how GX Kong is going to be. But yeah, I don't think that a lot of people were saying that there was a conspiracy. I'm like, no, it's not. You're literally putting two things on streaming. People are going to watch what they watch on streaming. It's that convenient. And that's why I think the focal point of this industry, and like I said, the dinosaurs don't want to hear it, but it's the dinosaurs that are running these companies right now, after they fade away, are going to be replaced by guys like Kylar and guys like him that have always had this, they appreciate it and have a better business understanding than some of these near 80-year-olds or near 70-year-olds.
I still think it'd be
they should bring back Jason Caldwell. He was actually a smart person.
I think again, I've said before on prior streams, I think it'd be because of course there was a story we were discussing about like a week or so ago about WBD stocks, not being so hot. And
getting downgraded by Wells Fargo and another company.
And we've speculated, okay, is David Zaslav's time kind of limited at this point? And I've said it's like, I think it'd be so hilarious if he took off and Kylar came back. Because it's like,
he would be my vote. Be honest with you, because
I think I might too. Yeah,
Zaslav could leave now, and he's already won because he created the company. That's his legacy. Is WBD is his legacy. What happens after that? He could take his parachute and get, what is he, 65, 66? He could take his.
Of course, a lot of people are still pissed off at him because of the whole Batgirl and Coyote situation. So
we're gonna get over that. That's not nobody's.
Droga. No, Droga. It's not gonna be
not crazy.
We've had it in Pascal in the chat, by the way. It's like I want to know who that is too.
We had a motto.
Isn't she still at Sony? She's like she's
just the producer of the Spider-Man stuff, isn't she?
Yeah, that's it. So it doesn't really matter. So who cares?
Yeah, that's I think I'd be with you. There's like Kyler would be my vote.
That is a bird. That is.
So you figured out what is it snuck in the Cyber Center?
Yeah, it came in through one of these many fucking holes that are in my roof, and now it can't get out.
But you got slumlords, William? What's going on?
No, he had a monsoon come through there recently.
It's an old build. It was built in 1961, so the fact that knock on wood that it's still fucking standing, but a bird must have got through, and now it can't get out.
Just make sure you got the insurance put in play.
Well, lost birds is not gonna have insurance.
Just get a cat and wait for the.
I don't want to come into a dead bird on Monday either.
Or like your place covered in bird shit either.
No, that's outside. But like I said, I hope whatever it is, I'll call maintenance. Fucking. Anyway, we're about to. Anybody got anything else they want to bring up?
About the nostalgia, I was going to tell you this. Do you hear about the recent complaint about the Ghostbusters new movie?
I have no. I'm not going to see it. So it kind of went over my head.
You're not a big Ghostbusters fan, okay?
Nah, not at all.
True Detective tomorrow.
It's getting weirder. Listen, they got to cover some ground tomorrow. We only got 3 episodes left, so we gotta have some movement. I need to see some suspects to come.
So far, this is the season that seems like it has the most replay value. If it's good, they just got to land this plan really well.
They really do. I hope it's not a disappointment. Please don't disappoint.
So
you
think it's Supernatural?
Don't do a 10 Cloverfield Lane with me with this land.
Hey, 10 Cloverfield Lane's a great movie. Don't say that.
It was up until the end.
The ending was great. Come on, William. The ending was excellent.
I think it's the water. I think it's something with the water. Yeah. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so it's on my list of things to watch. But I'm waiting until it's all done.
You got 3 more weeks.
Do you know what I just marathoned the other day? I just watched all 4 Jeepers Creepers movies.
Oh my god. I love those first. I love the first 2.
The first 2 are good. They're good. Third one is what the fuck.
The last scene of that first one where his eyes are out and they're saying Jeepers Creepers, and it's the one kid and he's eating his eyes.
I hate that scene.
Yeah,
God, it terrifies
that scene. No, the first 2 movies are good. The third movie takes place the morning after or the day after the first movie, but 3 days before the second film, and it ties in like it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Because
I didn't see it.
The third movie is like it was only released on like Fathom events for like 2 nights.
It was like one day.
No, they added a second day because it was so popular, and then it went to Sci-Fi. They put it up on Sci-Fi, but then I'll tell you the one I watched Reborn, the new one, the reboot, and I don't like to turn off movies. I like to watch them. I tried to watch them all the way through. That was a chore. That movie is so undeniably bad.
Wow.
That it's like, because they use so much green screen.
Well, you gotta also remember it's like a direct to DVD sequel for
that went to theaters.
I went to theater. We promoted that. I couldn't get people to see that for free.
It was like because the thing is like Jeepers Creepers, like, look, the reason why they rebooted it is because the creator of the franchise is a pedophile.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Oh, is that Victor Salva guy?
This Victor Salva guy, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that was the whole thing. I've been researching it too. Is like Jeepers Creepers, like people knew he was a pedophile, like but that was in the late '80s, and he served his time and whatever, because you got to like people always think like it's a recent thing. I'm like, no, it's almost like it's like 35 years old.
The thing that confuses me is like how come like someone like Sony or like Blumhouse couldn't get the rights to it?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, like, do you know who has the rights to it? And this is the craziest thing. Who funded the movies? Francis Ford Coppola.
Ooh.
The director of the Godfather trilogy.
Really?
Right? Yes. Yeah. He's the one who funded the Victor Salva's first film, Clown House, the one that he molested one of the actors on. Mm-hmm. And that he went to jail for. And then when he got out of jail, he was a telemarketer and was writing screenplays on the side. And that's where he wrote Jeepers Creepers, and he showed it to Francis Ford Coppola, and then Coppola used his producing prowess to get it basically like in front of people and to get the money to make the movie. And then, but at the time, like the internet wasn't that big of a thing, right? Social media wasn't a thing for both the first and second movies.
Well, that was back in the old days of Hollywood where you can get away with weird shit like that. So,
well, I mean, like because remember, he also did Powder.
Yeah,
and Powder, that was
Roman Polanski. Oh,
yeah.
And
that was the one where he kind of got it kind of flared up again.
It flared up again, yeah, right. But then it went away because again, people's consciousness it left.
You won an Oscar for that too.
Yeah. So wait, I was just about to bring this up. We just got another donation.
Yeah. We are now at. Sorry to interrupt everybody. We are now at $6,750 on our way. We're way past our original goal of 5,000. Thank you. You donated that. It was a. Let's see. I have to refresh my screen.
It was
Russ Cole. Okay, I can't even comment on that because Jarbo, you haven't seen the rest of but yeah, that's a character connection there.
No, so, I know about that's been all over Twitter. I don't know how it's connected, but I just know like I saw like the creator of the franchise was like bitching about the connectivity of it, and I saw that, but I haven't seen the show yet.
Okay, but who owns the rights? For Francis Ford Coppola still owns the rights?
I think it's America Zoetrope, which is the American Zoetrope is the production company that was actually co-created by Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas back in 1969. And they're the ones that were like the production company behind the first two films. And I think the third film, but like basically because when they were shooting the third movie, that's when Me Too happened.
Yep.
And that's when it flared up again. The whole thing flared up with the whole.
Because he had a hard time shooting that movie. Like they kept blocking him from everywhere.
It was in Canada mostly. It was like Canada, yeah. Like BuzzFeed ran an article, and that prompted a big kind of thing in Canada. And so the production shut down there, and they ended up finally getting the money and shooting it in Florida. But here's the thing with Jeepers Creepers 3: it takes place during the day. 90% of the movie, 99% of the movie takes place during the day.
So what's the point of the third movie? I don't get it.
The point of the third movie is to establish like that people have now figured out what he is. Right? Because if you remember at the end of the second movie, he runs out of time and he cocoons himself. Right. And then Ray Wise,
and the guy sitting there with the shotgun waiting for him for 27 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because he's basically Captain Ahab. He's basically Captain Ahab. Is Ray Wise's character in Jeepers Creepers 2. And he is fucking awesome in Jeepers Creepers 2. Like Ray Wise is awesome in general.
Yeah, that movie was good.
But he was like, that movie was solid. The first two are really good. And then it's like in the third one, it's kind of like they figure out like people can figure out what he is, but they don't tell the audience what he is because Victor Salva wrote the script for number 4 that's supposed to like tell us the full story of what the creeper is. But because of the pedophile stuff and because that flared up again, it basically like nobody wanted to work with him. And that's when whoever got the rights, you know, to make the reboot. I can't find a lot of information about how that came to be. But I do know that it's like the guy who wrote, like the two guys who wrote it have like almost no experience writing at all.
Yeah.
The director was the guy who did the Iron Sky movies.
I don't know what those are.
Look them up on YouTube. It's CG. It's basically like a green screen film about what if the Nazis fled the Earth at the end of World War II and colonized the moon. They went to the dark side of the moon and then they came back.
Is this the Sci-Fi Channel original movie?
Sounds interesting.
It's not.
I don't think they did in that subsequent time.
Yeah, I mean that's more or less like what's going on with it is just like, but so they got that director who apparently is really good using green screen, except Jeepers Creepers Reborn, the green screen they use is so ungodly terrible that it's just the movie. You're like, this movie had like a $20 budget is what it feels like. And it ended up going to theaters and it only grossed like $6 million. Like it was just bad.
Oh. Well, could the green screen be worse than what I saw in Expendables 4?
Don't bring it up. I actually like it. I mean, it's not a good movie, but I enjoyed it.
What, Expendables 4?
Expendables 4 was actually pretty good, yeah.
I need to watch those again.
I'm invested, so I don't care. I'll watch them all.
I mean, look, Expendables 4 is not good, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I'll admit I had fun with it.
They got me on the ending part. I was ready to rock out on that one, but I'm like, oh, okay, he's right there. Okay, I know what you guys just.
I mean, like the first Expendables movie, the first two are fun. The second one is the best of the whole franchise.
The second one,
like
the
Simon West,
good too, especially the unweighted version. Again, I tell people this. Watch the unweighted version. That's the definitive version to watch for Expendables 3. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely adds a lot to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like anything that's unrated, usually is you're going to get a better version of the film. I think the only movie I've seen where the unrated extended cut or whatever you want to say was worse was Suicide Squad from 2016.
Yeah, but that wasn't David Ayer's cut. That was
but that wasn't. That was like just extra scenes they cobbled in. But if you watch something like, let's say, the Chronicles of Riddick unrated cut, it's almost like watching a whole different movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's so much better.
It's fun watching different versions.
Yeah, I need to get the Abyss. That's dropping. What is it? The Abyss, Aliens, and True Lies hit physical 4K
I
on
know
March
that
12th.
There's not a whole lot of copies of the Abyss floating around, but I heard the restoration for the Abyss was getting a lot of flack for using AI. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, the thing is, a lot of 4K,
Thank you, Daniel.
a lot of 4K upreses actually end up using AI, and how they upres. But they're supposed to. Anyway, they do a lot.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's a running joke we have.
Hey, say William, I'm gonna ride out.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up myself. We've been on for 4 hours, which is going to be a record for this particular show, I think. So hey, thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody who donated, by the way.
Yes. Hey, by the way, have you guys seen a good unweighted version is for Die Hard 4? Have you guys seen that version?
Yeah, that's
Live Free or Die. No. If you can find it,
a definitive version to watch. The unweighted version.
If you can find, and I don't know where you'd even be able to find this, there was a fanedit.org was a website that many, many years ago you could find a bunch of fan edits of movies. And somebody took the theatrical and the unrated of Live Free, Die Hard, and they removed a lot of like the wasted stuff. Like Kevin Smith is only in it for the one scene, the first scene, so there's none of that dialogue later on in the film. And they do some color correction and they tweak the pacing, and that was the best version of that movie that I saw. I don't know where you'd be able to find it, but the unrated version of Live Free or Die Hard is pretty good too.
Yeah, that's got.
I like Kevin Smith. He was actually pretty funny in that movie.
All right. Well,
I'll see you guys all.
Besides,
thanks for coming on, man.
So,
man. That is at 4 hours. So I meant for this to be a 3-hour show and be out by 11. I have ultimately failed at that. Yeah. But hey,
we had our biggest turnout ever on this. I think. I mean, it's definitely I think Mr. Sorry, Mr. Crescent. I think it's the first time we've seen you either in the chat. Of course, the first time we've had you.
I've been watching you guys' show for some time, and I appreciate deeply. I am very proud of both of you guys. I know I'm going to sound like a second, but just hear me out. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you guys are trying to do with Rebel Mundo. I appreciate a lot what you guys are trying to do on that.
Thank you.
There was barely anyone was trying to cover that, but when you guys did, it was fun. It got me to watch it. I actually did enjoy it, but yeah, some parts, I know, but I enjoyed it.
We got the Snyder cut coming for that, so
I know. I'm excited. Wait, what?
With the extended cut, in this context, the Snyder.
Oh
cut.
yeah.
I try not to use that for it, but he does.
Well, I mean, everyone's going to bring Snyder crap for that because they didn't. People just say you should have done the original version. That's it. But I don't know. Again, they got to make their money somehow. So
we'll find out in about 6 months.
Yeah, they're smarter than us, that's for sure.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much for that for the compliments there, Mr. Crescent.
And thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.
One more thing before I can go. Mm-hmm. People, please pay attention to the news or whenever the Ballerina movie is coming out of John Wick.
Yes.
Please I'm excited for that because that's where I will be. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, likewise, man.
I am fully invested on that John Wick stuff. They got my full attention now.
Same here.
All right, I'm gonna get going. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming on, man. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right. Yeah,
and actually, before we fully sign off, I want to highlight this comment from Aaron real quick. I've been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. I'm halfway through book one so far. Yes, Aaron.
Hey,
Brad,
I got you. But I'm going to tell you this. Before the Last Airbender live action series comes out, I will watch the M. Night movie with you.
Okay. Okay.
This will be a first time watch for me, so this will be exciting.
Thank you, Larry.
You're just going to watch together?
Yeah.
This will be his Howard the Duck. That's what.
Yeah, when I spoke of being an Avatar fan, people were like, "Oh, William did Howard the Duck, the watch party for that." So it's like, this would be like,
look what that took to get that done. I had to do it once we did that. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and I'm going to put a bow on this. It's been a fun day. We streamed for about 6 hours today.
Oh, we can't go 4 hours flat.
So, I'll start the way I began with the main reason why we were raising our fund is for resources like this, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 24/7 call, text, chat, whatever tool you need to you buy yourself more time to get help, use it. If it's this, cool. If it's another number, cool. If it's another lifeline, whatever you need to do to get to bridge the gap. Because like I said, the people on the other end of this line, most of them have been through what you're going through, and the fact that this line exists means that there's a way out for you. Please use it if you can, and if you're not in need, make sure you spread the word so that everybody else can, maybe somebody you don't know what people are going through. I mean, that's the whole thread of this thing is the fact that we don't know people well enough sometimes to know what they're going through. So. All right, guys. Thanks for everybody.
Okay, guys. See you.
Who else? For everybody who was here, Axel who was here, Matt who popped in. Who else? Where we're missing that was in earlier.
Mr. Crescent.
Mr. Crescent. Thank you.
RJ. Spider-Man, and everybody here right now.
All right, cool. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30 for the Sunday night live stream, and I will also see you on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, so we can watch Blade Runner 2049.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, happy 12th birthday to Brad. And
You're getting younger, Brad.
See you guys later.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Chad.